Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi or save up to $9,500 on the 550 horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game. Hello and welcome to the CIML football pregame show. It is week one of the 2026 Iowa high school football season and our coverage here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Boy, time flies by and it's good to be football season once again here in the fall. The fall air is coming in, the weather's starting to cool down. It is a really good time to be a fan of football here in Central Iowa. I'm your host, Blake Walker. Let's get into today's show. Your Radio Iowa polls are what we're going to go off of for our rankings here in 2026, at least to start, and that's what we're going to start out with. These are your top 10 rankings here, thanks to Radio Iowa. Waukee Northwest is number 1. Dowling Catholic, the defending state champion, is at number 2. Johnston is number 3 under Coach Woodley, and Iowa City Liberty, new coach at the helm, at the number 4 spot. West Des Moines Valley at the 5. Southeast Polk is at 6. Cedar Rapids Prairie, one of the first or the second Eastern Iowa school to make it up there in the 7th spot. Sioux City East, watch out for this team. A high-flying offense that was all juniors last year, come back strong this year. Remember, they almost beat Waukee Northwest in the postseason. They are at number 8. Dallas Center Grimes, their second year here in Class 5A. We'll see how they do. They start at number 9. And then Iowa City West. The Trojans find themselves at the number 10 position. Top 10 rankings. Boy, aren't they fun. We'll see how much they change when we get to week 9 and we look back and say maybe who was right and maybe a couple were wrong. But either way, that's why we play the games. When we come back, we're going to talk to some coaches before tonight's big matchups. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network football pregame show.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees. Save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi. Or save up to $9,500 on the 550-horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game. Welcome back to the CIML Football Pregame Show. I'm your host, Blake Walker. Let's close this thing out by looking at some of the top games to watch here this evening on both the Central Iowa Sports Network and WHO Channel 13. Our WHO 13 Plus app game of the week is Waukee versus Johnston. Two teams, a lot of questions. Johnston seems to be in the better spot coming into 2026. We'll see if Waukee can defend their home turf here on week 1. Southeast Polk heads to Ankeny Centennial to take on the Jags. Southeast Polk very promising with a very good offensive line as always and a very good running back. Centennial lost a lot from last year's team. They'll be fun to watch in this one. The classic Dowling Valley rivalry tonight should be a fun one over at Valley Stadium. You can catch that game on Channel 13, whether that's on their streaming service, their website, or you can catch them straight up on TV. So make sure to check out Valley Dowling on Channel 13 this evening. Ankeny and Waukee Northwest should be a fun game over at Northwest between those two programs. And then if we're keeping an eye out east, which we always like to do from time to time, a classic rivalry. Iowa City High versus Iowa City West in what should be a great matchup to start 2026. That will do it for us here on the CISN Football Pregame Show. It's been fun walking you through our Week 1 pregame. We hope you enjoy the games tonight. We'll see you next week. Thanks for watching the Central Iowa Sports Network Football Pregame Show. I've been your host, Blake Walker. Enjoy the games, everyone. Iowa High School football is back here on the Central Iowa Sports Network, and week number 1 brings us to Ankeny Stadium. It's the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars hosting the Southeast Polk Rams. Hello, everyone. I'm Blake Walker along with my partner, Tim Halber, in what should be a great opening game to start 2026, Tim. Two teams with two sophomore quarterbacks who are now junior quarterbacks. A little bit of inexperience on both sides of the ball, but two teams that know how to win in the past with two very good coaches.
Yes, these two teams are perennial playoff contenders. Every year we always see them, getting in the playoffs, wanting to get in the dome. The coaches have a great advantage that you got two quarterbacks that started as sophomores. Great for your offenses to have returning quarterbacks, so we'll see how kind of a game they have tonight.
Let's talk about those junior quarterbacks. We'll start with the first one, Brecken Miller for Ankeny Centennial. Tim, this kid kind of burst on the scene last year, and to jump into a role of a sophomore for a CIML quarterback in Class 5A is no small threat. The confidence has to be high for a kid like that.
Yeah, he's a really good athlete. Last year he threw for over 1,300 yards, 16 touchdowns. He does lead that offense. And one of the strengths tonight is that they have some big receivers, 6'4" receivers. I look for that to get his passing game going. Young running backs, maybe starting some sophomore running backs tonight, so they may lean on that passing game and that quarterback experience to get that offense on track.
On the other side for Southeast Polk, Stanley Cooper, second-team All-State in Class 5A last year. He's got a good O-line to run behind. They expect possibly a first-team All-State kind of season out of it.
Yeah, he had over 1,300 yards rushing, 17 rushing touchdowns last year. He's a beast out there. You look at that offensive line, they returned 3 starters. They average like 280 on the line. You and I could probably gain 1 or 2 yards just falling forward. Look for them to lean on that running game, very heavy to get that established and chew up the time clock.
It's going to be an interesting night of football ahead. You never know what's going to happen here in week 1, that's for sure. Ankeny Centennial and Southeast Polk ready to go here from Ankeny Stadium. Southeast Polk, if we take a look at the polls for Radio Iowa, that's the rankings we're going off of here early in the season. The Rams do find themselves ranked in the top 10. Slotting in at the number 6 position, Ankeny Centennial not ranked to start the year. Waukee Northwest number 1. They are at home tonight against Ankeny. Dowling Catholic taking on Valley tonight. Johnston taking on Waukee, and so on and so forth. Should be a fun night ahead. It's a beautiful night for football. The weather's great. No rain today, which has been nice. We obviously had nice weather yesterday for volleyball outdoors at Valley Stadium, so it's been a great night of football all set to go. Austin Oliver is the third member of our program. We'll catch up with him here in just a little bit for what's going on the field. Let's talk about our keys to the game tonight here, Tim. Both teams young, but at some points experience. Talk about what you're looking for this evening.
One, you talk about experience. I look at that offensive set up, the offensive line and the running back that they have for Southeast Polk. They're going to lean on that heavy, set the tempo, get that quarterback settled in. I look for them to control the ball and getting first downs and control the possession of the field. They have a younger, inexperienced defense. So they're going to have to, how do they match up against that passing game that we're going to see Centennial, see if they can exploit. They got the big tight end, Cade Newman. He's the University of Illinois commit coming in there. He's a big target. All these guys are 6'4". They got that rebound ability. Look for Centennial to establish maybe the passing game first to soften up that defense, then attack him with the running game.
Southeast Polk led by head coach Brad Zelenovich in his 11th season here with the Southeast Polk Rams. He was here in 2015, was hired in 2015, 86-30 record since then. The crazy stat, Tim, Southeast Polk since 2020, 56-7. It's unbelievable that the run the Rams have been on. Last year was the first year since 2020 they didn't make it to the Dome, and they didn't win a state title. They won 4 in a row before they lost last year to Iowa City Liberty in the postseason.
Yeah, as they talk, they don't rebuild, they just reload, and they always look at their offensive linemen, look what they do. They always have some big bodies there. They're always one of the more physical teams that we'll see play throughout the season. I expect to see a lot of the same tonight.
On the other side, Jerry and Ryan Pizzetti, 13th year together at the helm here for Ankeny Centennial. It's Jerry's 65th season, 460 wins, 190 losses, and 1 tie. I'd love to hear what that tie was. Yeah. And then it's obviously the 13th year for Ryan Pizzetti, 89-48 record. An Ankeny Centennial team that was a perennial powerhouse throughout the 2010s when they became a program in 2013. But since then have had up and down seasons. This year feels like it could go either way.
I know, and Centennial probably plays one of the toughest schedules, over 9 games. Last year they were 5-4 the regular season, but still made the playoffs because of the RPI, the strength of the teams that they play. So they play a very tough schedule. They tend to ascend as the season goes on. They get better as the season goes on. They're also physical, always talented on the outside. So look for a lot of that same tonight, that they're going to bring their A game. Even though they got some very talented sophomores coming up, I look for the senior leadership to kind of take over tonight.
Southeast Polk won the toss. They deferred, so Ankeny Centennial will be receiving the opening kickoff as we are just moments away from the 2026 Iowa High School football season. Sawyer Goebel and Hunter Derby will be the ones back to receive the opening kickoff. Ankeny Centennial in their classic uniforms, the silver tops, black jerseys, silver pants. Southeast Polk with the black lids and the all whites to go with it. Southeast Polk will bring out Bryce Dugan, the junior, to kick off for the Rams. And we will get set to roll here from Ankeny Stadium. Great crowd on hand. It was senior night, celebrating the seniors here early. And another beautiful night for football. We'll catch up with Austin Oliver here in just a second at this post-kickoff here to hear his thoughts on the field conditions and whatnot. 9 weeks of regular season football ahead of us. We end in November. The Unidome is the location both these teams want to be in. It all starts tonight. We're off and running here from Ankeny Stadium between Southeast Polk and Ankeny Centennial. Hunter Derby will take that one and go down. Austin Oliver, third member of our crew, down on the field. Austin, it has been a great week for football, and it feels like tonight leads up with beautiful weather, and the field looks great.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a real good night tonight. A little bit hot maybe down here on the field. We got a little bit of a wind coming out of the south, so I'd look for the kicking game. As we saw with the kickoff, went right into the end zone there. So we'll look for the kicking game maybe to have some trouble if they get a little bit further away from the goal as they go down to the south to the scoreboard level. But a lot of nerves out here. Probably going to be some sloppy football here to get things started, and we'll see what happens. Great to be here.
Thanks so much, Austin. We'll catch up with Austin as tonight's game progresses on. Ankeny Centennial out first on offense. Brecken Miller, the junior quarterback, 16 touchdowns, 5 interceptions last season. They start out with a handoff to the tailback in the backfield. That's James Nart. And Nart gets just a couple yards. That's one thing. You lose Morgan last year, Tim. Obviously, first team All-State. That's a hard player to replace. And James Nart's going to try to do all he can to try to fill that hole.
Yeah, just kind of get him that first hit in there, trying to go off their strength of the right side there. Zachary Equipment, the outside linebacker, did a nice job pinching him inside.
They got one wide receiver out to the left. They run a almost twin tight end look. Here's Miller going to check this one down to Newman, and that's going to be caught for a first down and a couple more. Cade Newman, you talked about him, Tim. His frame, 6'5". He's going to Illinois. Brett Bielema knows what he wants out of a player, and boy, he looks the part.
Yeah, not a lot of catches last year, but he's got that big body. He is an inline blocker for a tight end. They like that. But also, he is a tough one to handle for linebackers, for safeties getting out there. Nice little look-in slant there. He's going to be wide open.
Watch out for number 31 for Southeast Polk. Owen Oberbrockling, one of the top linebackers, one of just a couple returning on this Southeast Polk defense. Brecken Miller's going to call his own number on first down. He's not going to get much. The white jerseys of Southeast Polk easily in there to make the tackle. Miller ran just a little bit, 30 rushes last season, 70 yards. It's usually a part of his game we didn't see, but Centennial, I think, early here wants to establish some sort of run game.
Yeah, I'm sure Coach Pizzetti has a set plays that he wants to run here on offense, get the running back involved, a little bit of the passing game, get the quarterback, getting some hits in there, and you get the game slowed down for you and get into game speed.
It is second down and about 10. They didn't get anything as they hand off. Nope, they go outside. This is Hunter Derby, who's got a block on the corner. Derby turns the corner and gets all the way upfield to about the 48, 47-yard line. And a first down for Ankeny Centennial. Tim, we saw in the pregame a lot of Hunter Derby. They really like this kid in that slot formation.
Yeah, he comes in off the right side there through the formation. Then the play action, because they ran a couple of plays there to Nair that opened that up, that he was open in the flat on the left side. And Miller does a nice job checking down to him and throwing it out there to catch him in stride.
Merritt still in the backfield here. Two wide receivers out to the right. They got one stacked up on the line. Here's Miller on first down. Going to fire this one short. Caught by Newman, and another first down. Pitch and catch here as a little bit of zone to start for Southeast Polk. We thought about it coming into the game, Tim. Defenses might be struggling here in the early portion, not just because it's week one, but there's just not a lot of returning on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I think just a little bit of the inexperience, right in front of Owen Overbrockling there. Once again, you see that Newman did a good job using his hands to catch the ball, tuck it in, and get the first down.
Derby in motion. This time they hand off to Narrett. He is going to be wrapped down to the backfield. Big tackle by Cody Wingegar. And Weingart, the senior 6 foot 185 player, getting in the backfield on first punch.
Yeah, Naird almost broke the tackle there. I think he spun out of it, still lost a yard on there. He's going to, as the game goes on, he's going to know to hit that hole a little bit faster. I think they're trying to set it up. Hard time for that offensive line trying to hold their block against the defensive line of Southeast Polk.
Ankeny Centennial 5-4 record last year, fell to Johnston in the opening round of the postseason. Here's Miller going to check this one down short, and it is going to be caught by Owen Gasberry, but really quickly up to the line is Zachary Lecumant, the senior linebacker, up there to make a play.
I thought that Owen may have had a little more yardage there, on the catch there. But the official spotted back there really for no gain, so 3rd and 11. Big number 99 was coming in there. Joel Yakun, the junior defensive lineman, would put the rush on Brecken Miller. He had to get rid of it probably a little bit quicker. Didn't give time for that pattern to catch to let it develop on downfield.
3rd down and 11 on this opening drive of the season for Ankeny Centennial, as the Jaguars trying to keep this one rolling. Here's Miller on 3rd and long. He's going to wind this one up deep to Hunter Derby, who's caught it, and he's down inside the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone.
Yeah, Hunter Derby did a nice job there running down the numbers, between the numbers and the hash there. Kept his eyes on it. Looked at a nice floating pass there by Brecken Miller. Caught him in stride, didn't overthrow him. Dropped it right in there for a big gain, getting down to the 5-yard line.
39 yards off the hands of Brecken Miller, who dropped it into a shoebox. And just like that, Ankeny Centennial is in business in the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone here down at the 5-yard line. Miller will now go under center. Fullback in as well, yeah.
Heavy formation.
Everybody up on the line. They hand this one off to Nart, and he is stonewalled in the backfield. Southeast Polk quickly on top of things.
Bringing in Kenyon Salas, 34, the sophomore, playing basically a fullback. Also bringing in, looks like they're bringing in Kiefer Reed also as a blocking, normally plays linebacker, bringing in, some coaches call this their elephant package, but it's their heavy blocking package. Getting in there, but good penetration there by the Southeast Polk defense, getting in there, stopping it cold.
Joel Yankoon, the junior 6'3", 270 lineman in there for Southeast Polk. This one's a play-action fake. Here's Miller. He's going to roll out, fire to the back of the end zone, and it is incomplete. Catch was made by Owen Gasberry, but he could not get the feet down. And boy, Miller had to fit that into a tight pocket, a.k.a. he threw it high, and just falls short of the end zone, and it's 3rd and long, 3rd and goal here.
Yeah, the only two things that would happen is that he catches it or else it goes over his head. He threw it there. Now, Owen went up and caught it like a rebound. He was rebounding a basketball, but the defensive back able to get a hit on him, get him out of bounds before he landed with feet in the end zone. Otherwise, he would have had a touchdown. So
Centennial abandoning the back-to-back heavy formations. They bring out the fullback, Kenyon Salas, and now they spread him out here on 3rd and goal from about the 6-yard line. Here's Miller, fires over the middle, wide open, touchdown, Ankeny Centennial, Cade Newman.
Great read by Brecken Miller there. He saw that the middle linebacker, Owen Brockling, was blitzing on that play. Good job by the lineman picking him up so that inside slant is going to be open. And Newman, big catch there on that one, is brings the touchdown, brings the lead for Centennial.
Just a perfect slant route. And Ankeny Centennial is on the board on a beautiful opening drive. Noah Manning will come on to attempt the PAT. 23 of 26 on point after attempts last season. This one is up and right down the middle. 7-0. Ankeny Centennial flexing their muscles early. They lead over Southeast Polk. We'll be back. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Make Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees. Save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi. Or save up to $9,500 on the 550-horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Southeast Polk offense set to roll out onto the field momentarily, but Tim Halper, it was the Ankeny Centennial offense, 7-0 on the opening drive of the season, 11 plays, 80 yards, and really, I can attribute it to a lot of different factors. Newman was big, but the big play, the 40-yard pass to Hunter Derby, really set Centennial up.
Yeah, and that was on a 3rd and 11, so it was a really good job there to kind of go deep. Found a, for Miller to pick up the one-on-one coverage going down deep, he did a really nice job. I don't think he had an incomplete pass on that drive, so that's the experience. Having that experienced quarterback come back in and lead a team down there, keeping his cool, did a great job. No, he had the one incompletion technically in the end zone to Owen Gasperi, but nice drive, good play calling on there. Young people stepping up. Now we're looking at how does this defense going to handle this heavy offense that we have from Southeast Polk.
Manning will be the one to kick for Ankeny Centennial. Reed Thompson and Brennan Swanson, the ones back to receive for Southeast Polk, as the Rams find themselves behind here early in the going. Manning will send this one down to the south side of the stadium. This one will be taken by Brennan Swanson. Swanson makes a couple cuts and stays on his feet. Here goes Brennan Swanson down the sidelines, and Southeast Polk will get the offense rolling in pretty good field position. They are led out by Boston Bailey, the junior quarterback. Came in about midpoint of the season for Austin Mart at quarterback. 733 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 picks. But Tim, 63% completion percentage. There's a reason Boston's the starting quarterback in here in 2026.
Yeah, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He knows how to run the offense. Makes a nice read there. So he's a good athlete. I mean, he's a good size, quarterback, 5'10", 185. So yeah, does a nice job. A good head on his shoulder to lead this offense.
3 linemen returned from last year's team for Southeast Polk, one of which was the All-State tackle, left guard, first-team All-State Noah White, big number 78. And Stanley Cooper in the backfield, standing straight up like Ashton Genty would for Boise State. He takes the carry on the first play for Southeast Polk. He's going to get a couple. Cooper really burst on the scene last year. Obviously not a small type like Southeast Polk has had with Abu Sama. They had Drew Thompson last year, kind of bulk carries, but boy, this kid's really athletic.
He is, and he runs between the tackles. That's one thing. He runs it up the middle there with a lot of force. So it's going to challenge that 4-3 defense that Centennial likes to run. They have to get off their blocks there. We're going to see a lot of linebacker activity, a lot of linebackers making tackles here tonight.
Brian Deggins split out here to the left side for Southeast Polk. Here's a handoff once again. Cooper has to switch directions, gets past a couple. Cooper makes another man miss, and it's a touchdown saving tackle by Charlie Porter, as there's the elusiveness of Stanley Cooper.
Yeah, they had him stopped in the backfield. They had him back there. He changed direction, looked for the hole off to the left side, then cut her up inside. So you have to maintain your position when you try to tackle a elusive running back like that. He's got good, quick feet. He's always looking downfield. You can see he's got a shoulder square to downfield. Usually picks up many yards that way.
2 plays, 19 yards for Stanley Cooper. A change at the running back position here. I believe that's Adrian Cooper back in the backfield. We'll check here in a moment. 1st down and 10. It's a play action. Nope, it's a handoff to Cooper. Cooper hits the edge. Adrian Cooper tiptoeing down the sideline, and now out inside the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone. And we thought, Tim, coming in, the run game was going to be where Southeast Polk excelled. They're doing just that here on this opening drive.
Yeah, missed tackle there in the backfield. You got to maintain your position. You got to pinch that inside. Don't let them bounce outside. That was a play design there. Going for the tackle and leaving your feet. They're able to bounce outside. They got good running backs. They have more speed than you think they do. So that was evident right there. Take up there, get the first down. So maintain your integrity, your lane integrity as a tackler, and get them down on a short gain.
Drive is moving quick for Southeast Polk. He was pushed out a little bit earlier than I thought, so not inside the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone. Cooper switches to Bailey's left side. Will they go pass? No, they stick with the run, and Cooper's going to get a couple up the middle. Nice tackle by Kiefer Reed, the senior linebacker.
Yeah, Kiefer, one of the returning linebackers from last year.
16 tackles in this game last year. Was a machine. Austin Oliver reporting that James Nart, the running back for Ankeny Centennial, on the bench by himself, seemed like he was favoring his ribs, so we'll wait and see if James comes back out. Centennial was pass heavy, it felt like, on that opening drive, so we'll see what changes there. Everybody switches here on the offensive line as Cooper's back in the backfield. They hand off to Cooper, and he is swarmed in the backfield by the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars. Cade Newman leads the way. It's not just offense, Tim. It's the defensive end as well for Cade.
Yeah, he's got that frame for a defensive end. If he couldn't catch, he'd be an excellent defensive end, but he's in there. We'll also see Owen Kesberry in there as well playing defensive ends. That gives him a lot of athleticism on the outside. Now what that did is that loss creates a 3rd and long, forcing them to pass. That's what they want to have. Getting those experienced linebackers in that secondary. You don't want to be dawdling too long back there if I was Boston Bailey.
3rd down and 7. Here's Bailey, first throw of the game. He's going to check this one down short. It's caught, but nowhere near the first down marker. Bryce Dagan came in on almost a bubble screen, and it's going to be 4th down and medium, and Southeast Polk's going to have a choice to make here.
Excellent tackle by Kyler Vanderwoert. They come from the outside linebacker position, came in, got the tackle, prevented a long gain there. Empty backfield for Bailey on the pass. You see a lot of that. The receivers will light up the outside. They want to cut inside, that kind of like a naked bubble, or they get one blocker out there. See if they want to go back to something like that, or if they want to take a shot deep downfield.
4th down and call it about 4 or 5. Here's Bailey, back to throw. Here comes the pressure, fires. This one's caught at the sticks. Is it enough for the first down? It is. Catch is made by Max Johnson, and the Rams continue to move the ball.
Yeah, saw a little opening there right in front of Carson Erickson. Carson Erickson starting, he's a sophomore cornerback coming in there. Going to test him a little bit there. That little look in there, good pass by Bailey to the outside. Just enough for the first down.
There's a lot of sophomores on this Ankeny Centennial team. Southeast Polk, I only counted maybe less than 10, but well over 10 for Ankeny Centennial. A lot of young blood out here on the field. No freshmen. Sophomores the youngest they get. Adrian Cooper is the one in the backfield for Southeast Polk. They hand off to him here on this new set of downs, and Cooper's going to get a good chunk here. Again, just weaving around the tackles. Southeast Polk really strong push up front.
Yeah, they do a nice job that they basically go with the zone blocking scheme. They kind of start from the center and they kind of man up on the outside. But a lot of the running backs are having to dance a little bit, look for the hole to develop, then they cut upfield. They do a nice job of reading where the hole is going to be, picking up usually 2 or 3 more yards, just being a patient running back.
Metro Heating and Cooling red zone here for Southeast Polk. 2nd down and short, with Cooper back in the backfield once again. Here's a check down, short to the outside. This is going to be caught for another first down. Bailey took a hit, and on the other side of the receiving end, I believe that's Brennan Swanson. Yes, it is, making the grab for the first down.
Yeah, put that ball out there right over Vanderwert's reach. You couldn't tip it. Rylan Pizzetti there on the tackle on the outside. He had a nice touch there.
Swanson last year, 10 catches, 141 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Southeast Polk quite inexperienced here at the wide receiver position. But it's 1st and goal here for the Rams. A heavy set formation with Cooper in the backfield. Stanley gets the carry, spins, cuts up field. Is it enough for the goal line? Yes, it is. Touchdown, Southeast Polk.
Yeah, Stanley Cooper, he's a 6 foot, 222-pound running back. Knox that gets out of that first tackle, puts his head down, spins, takes it in the end zone. So that's what the advantage of having that size coming in there on the defense on a long drive.
A methodical drive, both teams in their own right, running and passing. And Southeast Polk will come on to attempt the extra point. Bryce Dugan. Kick is up and right down the middle. 7-7. Southeast Polk and Ankeny Centennial. The defenses got some work to do here early. We'll be back. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Ten plays, 63 yards for Southeast Polk, mostly on the ground, and mostly thanks to Stanley Cooper, who punches it in from just a couple of yards out. We're tied 7-7 here between Ankeny Centennial and Southeast Polk. Sawyer Goebel and Hunter Derby back to receive the kick here for Ankeny Centennial. 1:18 to go here in the first quarter, as the offenses have been on display here in the early portions, as Dugan will put his leg into it. They were not able to return the last kick. This one will be the same. And really for Southeast Polk, Tim, that last drive, thanks to a good kickoff, set them up well. But now both teams, one drive under their belt. Defenses kind of have to look in the mirror just a little bit.
Yeah, I think the coach is going to say, here's what we're seeing out there. You know, here's what the game plan we had coming in. Here's what they're doing. Let's make some adjustments here on the sideline. You know, is there a gap assignment? Is there a blitz assignment? You know, what were they doing? They missed a couple tackles there. They had them in a 4th and 5 and just couldn't quite get that done. So those little things you have to get done if you want to win the game, because that would have been a great way to get the ball back. So now they're going back into the wind here. You said that it's a pretty stiff wind coming out of the south for this Centennial offense.
So it'll be first down from the 20. Miller fakes the handoff. Now we're going to try to take off himself, and he's ripped down in the backfield. Nice play by Joel Yankoon, as Miller just didn't get rid of it, and the junior lineman jumps into the backfield.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know if that's just he just got off the block there quickly. He got inside there. They don't expect that inside lineman to chase down the quarterback. I think he was looking for something out in the flat there.
Owen White is the one in the backfield. Again, we heard from Austin. James Nart was injured on that first drive. He was favoring his ribs. He's still on the bench being tended to by trainers. Here's Derby in motion. They fake the handoff to him. Now they're going to go downfield to Newman, who works his way back to the ball and makes the grab for the first down.
Yeah, he just went over the top of Cody Weingard, grabbed that ball, used those big hands. That's what that rebound ability can do. He went up there, just took it. He wanted to have that ball, big first down there, but got between the two receivers. Nice play call, nice touch by Bricken Miller on that pass play.
Cody Weingard was the one in coverage, and his height not able to keep up. He's 5 inches shorter. So a big first down, and once again, the passing game working. Here is a handoff to Owen White, who cuts upfield and gets a couple. Feels like the type of night where Centennial, especially if Nart is not able to go, you're going to see a lot of passing. That is the end of quarter number 1. If you like offense, stick around. We got more of it coming up. Second quarter coming up. Ankeny Centennial and Southeast Polk tied at 7. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
run, jump, lift, swim, compete, connect, breathe. Whatever your workout, you'll find it at the Y, plus a whole lot more. Right now, you can try the Y for free. Visit any branch or online at dmymca.org. One membership, endless opportunities. Your YMCA.
Back here at Ankeny Stadium for quarter number 2, Ankeny Centennial and Southeast Polk. Blake Walker, Tim Hauber along with you. Austin Oliver down on the field. Austin, now Ankeny Centennial gets the wind at their back. Is the wind noticeable down on the field, or are we just crazy and it's up here in the press box?
Well, I thought it was. But the 2 passes from Miller, the one that you guys just talked about as we winded down the first quarter there, and the long pass on the first drive were just perfectly thrown. So obviously Miller's not having too much trouble, but it is a little bit fluctuating. Like right now, if you look at the flags right now, they're going. But, 2 minutes later, it might not be anything at all. Running back, I think, is out for the game. So it looks like he's got ice on his ribs, and he's going to be done. So,
all right, thanks so much, Austin. So tough break for James Dart, the sophomore, out of his first game here at the varsity level. Here's a play-action fake, and there's a miscommunication. Miller threw that one too far ahead of Hunter Derby. Hunter was probably going to get lit up if that pass did connect. It'll be 3rd and long upcoming.
Yeah, I think Cooper Chebular, the returning defensive lineman, was looking that he thought he could either pick it or he was going to light up. Hunter Derby. It's best to have that fall incomplete. But now it brings up a 3rd and 7. There's a challenge there. Seeing Miller rolling out more as a quarterback, and hitting some of his receivers, so see if that's something he wants to get away from that rush.
3rd down and 7 is the call here. Miller fires to the sideline. This is caught. Is it enough for the first down? Yes, it is. Nice grab here by Newman once again.
Yeah, nice job. He went down and got that right off his shoe tops there. They had trips on the right side, so that the defense shifted over, so creating a one-on-one matchup for Cade Miller. Then he's going to win that battle 90% of the time.
It is the Cade Newman show here in the early portion, as we expected coming into this season for Ankeny Centennial. Heavy dosage of number 7. So fresh set of downs here, 1st down and 10 for the Jaguars, who are now in Ram territory, with Owen White once again in the backfield. They hand off to Owen. He goes to this near side and going to get a couple. Boy, Centennial might have got away with a hold on that near side, but inside of the field, Tim, seems, or between the hashes, seems like somewhere that they're not really going to go, as it feels like Centennial really not going to go too far, as there was a flag down.
Yeah, what you saw, I think they heard you and they threw the flag, so look on the outside there. Looks like Ashton McGonnell. This is a bad time. We start talking about linemen's names when there was a penalty, but yeah. He hooked him. They read the Southeast Polk defense read that well. They tried to get the tight end, and also Owen playing like an H-back, Owen Gasperi, trying to seal there to get Owen White to the outside, so they pursued quite well.
So that backs them up to 1st down and about 20. So back into their own territory. And McGonnell, one of the bigger tackles, one that Centennial is really going to run off of a lot of times. Owen White moves in motion. Miller had pressure coming. They go to Newman. There's one player here on this near side, and that play was broken from the start, as they're going to lose a couple more.
Yeah, I try to cut back in, take that little screen, look in on the inside, then take it back against the formation. It's a little dangerous play there because you don't gain a whole lot with all the energy.
Newman seems just slightly shaken up after that hit. It was well read by Southeast Polk. If Miller didn't throw it early, he was going to be in trouble. There was a couple Southeast Polk defenders coming off the edge, might have blindsided him. 2nd and forever now. 2nd and 22 for Ankeny Centennial. There's Miller, plenty of time. Checks it down to Newman over the center. And Cade's going to get all the way back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 3rd down and about 10 upcoming. So when in doubt, just give it to your star player. He'll go forward.
Yeah, Miller just stands there waiting for him to get open. They picked up 12 yards. It's a great way. If you get a 2nd down and long distance, what you want to do is cut it in half. And they picked up 12 of the 22 right there. So now you got a manageable 3rd and 10. See what you can pick up they're willing to let Cade Newman catch the ball and pick up yards on his own.
Two wide receivers out to the right. Again, they got Owen White in the backfield. They fake it to him. Here comes pressure. Miller's going to go down the field, and he overshoots his man, Luke Mitchell, who did have a step with Jackson Douche off in coverage. And incomplete. And Ankeny Centennial will punt for the first time tonight.
I think if I could get into Brecken's head, I think he went another half second to let that play develop, but you could feel the rush on his backside. He had to get rid of the ball because he was going to get drilled. So if you're going to throw it out there, throw it deep so it lands incomplete. But now with the wind at their back to see if they can get the punt and pin Southeast Polk deep in their territory.
Manning is the punter. Reed Thompson is the returner. As Centennial, that holding penalty really costly here on that drive. Manning, this one short. Everybody else poisoned to get away. This one's going to drop at a friendly bounce and go all the way to the 11-yard line. Not a bad spot for Noah Manning. Maybe it wasn't pretty off the leg, but it's worth its weight in gold. Now Southeast Polk will come back out on offense. If you're Ankeny Centennial defensively, you didn't really get a lot of looks in the passing game. It's just Southeast Polk relying heavily on that ground game.
Yeah, they found a couple openings on the pass game. They're not going to go deep. They like things underneath. The big thing is get into your lanes, get the tackle, and do good form tackling there and pinch them back inside, because if you can turn the play inside, that's where all your friends are. They can make the tackle. So see if what they learned there, if they picked up any nuances there. I doubt that Southeast Polk's going to want to pass deep in their end zone, even though they're showing trips to the right.
So first down deep in their own territory, starting at the 11-yard line for Southeast Polk on their second drive of the ball game. Here's Stanley Cooper, gets the handoff on the far side. Cooper hits the hole, and there goes Stanley Cooper down the far sideline. Centennial's going to give chase, but they will not catch him. Touchdown, Southeast Polk, 89 yards. And a flag is down because he taunted on his way to the end zone.
Oh, that coach is going to have a long talk with him, because he had that. He didn't have to do anything. He had a 10-yard, lead down the sideline, but he got to the bounce to the outside there. They missed the tackle, and he's got surprising speed for a big guy. He got down the sideline, and he was just running that picket fence all the way to the end zone.
So we'll wait and see on the official call here.
If it is taunting, where is it spotted? Where does the ball come back to? Is it at the point he did it? But it does not wipe out the entire play.
No. Wait and see from the official here. He's checking with Centennial's sideline here for how they want to accept this penalty.
You don't see this
no,
call
you don't.
often,
You don't.
so I couldn't tell you. It's got to be 15 yards from some point, but I don't know if it's at the point of the infraction.
Right now, they're lining up for the field goal as if it's normal.
The result of the play is a touchdown. During the run, unsportsmanlike conduct, offense number 0. That 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the ensuing kickoff.
So the penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff, 15 yards. So is it the worst penalty in the world for Southeast Polk? No, but still, I don't think Stanley Cooper's going to be doing that again. As here comes Dugan, he'll come on to attempt the PAT. And the kick is up and good. 14-7, Stanley Cooper, 89-yard lightning strike for Southeast Polk, and the Rams lead. We'll be back. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Welcome back to the Central Iowa Sports Network. Southeast Polk leads Ankeny Centennial 14-7 after an 89-yard burst by Stanley Cooper, the senior running back for Southeast Polk. The taunting call is going to make it that, or unsportsmanlike conduct call is going to make it so Southeast Polk has to kick this from their own 25. So there are consequences to actions. And this is not bad for Centennial because, first of all, the wind is in Southeast Polk's face here. And now a chance at a decent return with Derby and Sawyer Goebel back to receive. We'll see what the kicker Bryce Dugan can do here.
That's the key, is to get a good return.
This one's high in the air. It's going to be taken at about the 30-yard line by Kiefer Reed. And Reed gets up ahead, and Centennial gets decent starting position here at about their own 42. The offense sputtered just a little bit, but a holding call is really what set that back, Tim. But Luke Newman seems to be the way to go, and it just feels like the running game just might not be a factor tonight for Ankeny Centennial.
Yeah, they still need to run enough to keep that defense honest because they need to look in the backfield so that play action, does work. Cade Newman, he's the man to go to, but don't forget, Luke Mitchell, Hunter Derby was a big factor early on, so see if they use them more as this go on, because that defense is going to start shading. They may do an over-under trying to guard Cade Newman, double cover him, so to speak. That's going to open up other passing lanes or opportunities for the receivers.
So first down from the 42. Miller, this one's batted down at the line of scrimmage. Possibly something Southeast Polk was starting to see on film. That was batted down by big number 95, Tyler Cunningham, 6'3", 265, gets his paw on it.
Yeah, you're always taught to get those paws up there. Hopefully you're catching it into a passing lane. He looks like he was looking for Owen Gasperi in the middle, little hook pattern there. I think that's going to be open down the road.
Second and long here. Owen White still in the backfield. They hand off to him. Nope, they go over the middle. That one's bobbled, but it is still caught. And almost a first down for Owen Gasperi. We'll see if they give it to him. I think he's just about an inch short. Owen almost lost it, but makes it work.
Yeah, he kind of caught that on his hip. Did a nice job of concentrating, getting that ball. Tucked it in. A couple tackles got down there, so making a 3rd and 1. See if we're going to go with the running game, we may see Brecken Miller on a quarterback keeper.
Miller is the lone back here on 3rd and inches. Man in motion. Miller keeps on the quarterback keeper up the middle and plenty of yardage down to about the 40-yard line. First down, Ankeny Centennial.
At least we didn't see the tush push. That's, we went there, did a legit offensive play there. He ran up, read the play well. He kind of rode Owen White going from his right to left, then took it up there behind his lineman, picked up the big first down there, keeping his drive going.
I wouldn't really call it a true RPO option, but Centennial's really keeping the Southeast Polk linebackers guessing here on if they're going to the tailback or if Miller keeps. This time they do toss, and White is stonewalled, nowhere to go. He fights for a couple, but Cody Weingart, once again, up in the backfield. Centennial loses a couple.
Yeah, Cody did a nice job coming up there, and it's getting in the backfield, reading the running back. I think that's probably one of his keys, looks like he's playing an outside linebacker position. Coming up there, reading the running back, so if the toss is going out there, he's going to get across the line of scrimmage. Need to get a check block on him so he's not, playing in the backfield.
The fight to get back to the 40 or about the 39 helps Centennial. It's only 2nd and 11. This time they're going to go deep, and a little bit of miscommunication. Hunter Derby was cutting in. The ball was going out, and it's 3rd and long for Ankeny Centennial with 7:13 to go in the second quarter.
Yeah, he was reading, thinking he's going to do a flag route, and then he ran a post route, so he cut it inside a little too much. But they're getting one-on-one coverage out there. I think the teams are concerned about where Cade Newman's lining up, so they're shading into him. So the outside receivers are getting a lot of one-on-one coverages that's going to be open.
Confusion on this play call, and Coach Bizzetti will take a timeout for Ankeny Centennial. Temperature starting to cool just a little bit. Austin Oliver down on the sideline. Austin, beautiful night for football. I don't think you could ask for a better opening night here at least late August.
Absolutely, absolutely. Temperature's gone down. Wind is still blowing pretty good, but we'll take it for sure. Early season football here.
All right, Austin Oliver down there on the sideline. Coach Bizzetti having a chat with his players here as Southeast Polk defense coming up big here. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Johnston currently leading Waukee 14-0. Ankeny and Waukee Northwest tied at 7. Big news for Waukee this week. Coach Baker not with the team for the first 2 games of the season. Johnston currently out early. And Dowling Catholic leading over Valley 6-0. You can check out Waukee and Johnson here on the Central Iowa Sports Network and Valley Dowling on Channel 13 WHO or on the WHO 13 Plus app, along with Johnston and Waukee.
So I think the key here is you want to get down to at least, about the 32-yard line. If you get to a 4th and 2, you might go for it after that.
Miller, a lot of pressure, fires to the sidelines. This is going to be caught by Newman, but he's short of the marker by,
I'd say, about a
half a yard. Yeah.
Yep.
So now, once again, Centennial gets a short situation, about inches. Good catch by Newman once again on the sideline.
Yeah. They slide it back a little bit, so you got a full yard to go. 4th and 1. Will we see that quarterback draw again? Bringing Owen White in motion. Will he hand it off to him, or will he go behind the blocking?
Now Coach Zelenovich, nope. Clock's wrong. Something wrong with the clock. Just shows 28 on the clock.
I think they reset I think he might have gone out of bounds, so they didn't stop the clock, or they might have kept the play clock going. So I think they're going to reset it, get it correct.
Zelenovich wondering why the stoppage. I thought maybe he was the one calling the timeout, set up for the situation, but nope.
Yeah, I think it was right in front of us, but I don't know if he landed in bounds and the clock would keep going, or if he caught it and he landed out of bounds where it would stop the clock. So I think there was confusion from the clock operators. They want to make sure they get it correct.
They're letting the clock run down right now, and now it resets to 6:46. And it looks like they're content to roll with that. So 6:46 to go here in the second quarter. 4th and inches. Does Centennial run the same exact play that they got 3rd and inches on just a little bit ago? Southeast Polk shows blitz. Miller keeps, and he's got the first down. Not by much. Helmet comes off at the end, so he's going to have to come out of the ball game for one play.
Yeah, he tucked it up there. Big block by, I'll call it Aiden Miller, got a block there that created enough of a seam for Brecken Miller to take it upfield to get that first down, because he picked up about 2 yards, 2 very hard yards on that play.
So the sophomore, Hunter Daniel, comes into the ball game. His first time stepping onto the field on a varsity game. And Owen White in the backfield. I'd be stunned if Hunter throws the ball here on 1st down and 10. He'll hand off. Nope, it's a reverse. Hunter Derby here on the near side. Derby tries to get around 1 before he stepped out of bounds. Really nice contained by Frederick Tarasid Tarawali to keep that from getting any further.
And give Hunter Daniel on that reverse go there, getting an influence block there, actually allowing Hunter to get to the outside and getting a couple yards, or actually would have gone for maybe a loss, picking up about 3 yards there, making it a 2nd and 7. So good job by Hunter coming off the bench cold, getting a play like that off and then coming back in. So good job there.
So Derby able to get a couple to be 2nd down and 6 here with Miller back into the ball game after the helmet coming off. Play action fake. Brecken's going to roll out. Looking, fires downfield to the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Ankeny Centennial. Luke Mitchell goes up to get it.
That's the other guy that we talked about, that he'd be a factor in the game. So Brecken Miller rolling out to his right. He kept looking and looking at Owen Gaspari, like, can I get the ball to him? He looked downfield. That's a great throw, about 35, almost 40 yards there on a run. putting it up there where his 6'4" wide receiver can catch the ball and come down. That's a big play. They answer with a touchdown of their own and chewed off a chunk of the clock.
And what did we think? The passing game was going to be what did it. And now Noah Manning will come on to attempt the point after. Snap, hold, kick is blocked. Blocked by Southeast Polk, and it will stay at 14-13. Well, Ankeny Centennial, a big pass to the end zone to Luke Mitchell. Gets them within one, 14-13. We'll be back. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees. Save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi. Or save up to $9,500 on the 550-horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
Brecken Miller, 27-yard touchdown pass to the corner of the end zone to Luke Mitchell. 14-13 because of the blocked PAT here, Tim.
They came in, I couldn't tell if it looked like it was open. They got a lot of penetration there up the middle. Looked like it was maybe number 95, but that was got to get those seal blocks in there. But that could be a factor later on in the game.
Games like this where it feels like points aplenty. Manning with the wind at his back finally is what he's probably thinking. Sends this one to the back of the end zone. It's going to be a touchback, and Southeast Polk comes out where Stanley Cooper took it 89 yards to the house on his last touch. And again, I just don't see Southeast Polk changing. Here's a look at the pass once again. Unbelievable ball by Brecken Miller.
Yeah, he just that's when a quarterback is looking downfield, keeping his eyes downfield. He was almost at the line of scrimmage and then did a nice job. And that's throwing a tight spiral on the run. A good job by him. It's a big time play by their quarterback to get this game nuts. It's a seesaw battle here with 5:58 left to go. Now with that defense, could they make the tackle and keep that run game contained?
Luke Mitchell has now tied his touchdown total from all of 2025. Here's Boston Bailey back to work. Stanley Cooper gets the carry on first down. And as you can see, it's going to take a couple to bring him down as he gets about 5 on that opening handoff. Unofficially, 119 yards and 2 touchdowns on just 6 carries tonight for Stanley Cooper.
And we're seeing, the starting offensive tackle, Asher McGonnell, in there at defensive tackle to give him some size. He's 6'6", 260, so give him some weight there to plug up that middle.
You don't see a lot of offensive tackles at high school here in 5A do that. Bailey tries to keep it himself on that play. Well, I wouldn't say broken, but going to get a couple. There is an injured Southeast Polk player up the field. It's Aiden Levy, who has not gotten a target tonight, but he is down at the 35-yard line, as that play was broken for Bailey. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, more football here from Ankeny Stadium. Southeast Polk leads Centennial 14-13.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Back here, 3rd down and medium. 3rd and 4 here with under 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. No Stanley Cooper in the backfield here. Here's Bailey, going to fire this one short. It's caught, but dropped immediately as Brennan Swanson. Centennial read it the entire way.
Great job there by Kiefer Reed, the outside linebacker, because they brought in a different running back. Brendan Swanson came in, the wide receiver, as a running back. He was going to go out there on the flat, catch it, but a great job of the linebacker reading it, stopping it, bringing up a punting situation for the first time for Southeast Polk.
They're going to bring in 2 returners here for Ankeny Centennial. Urban Ingram, first time I've seen him on the field tonight, and then Hunter Derby. This is a high snap. It's into the back of the end zone. It's going to run all the way back out, and Ankeny Centennial has the lead. A safety.
I couldn't tell if he snapped it too soon or if he just got it over the punter's head. He had nothing to do. He went back to chase it. Really, the punter's job there is to make sure it goes out of the end zone and not to let Centennial get there. Luckily for them, the ball rolled out to the backside, causing a safety, and they get the ball back again.
No chance for the punter Dugan to even go get it as it rolls out of the back of the end zone. That wind didn't help, that's for sure. 15-14 after the safety. Well, we talked about that missed PAT.
Yes.
Maybe it won't come back. I don't know.
And it's a site of Jaegerism. Did you have safety on your bingo card tonight?
I tell you what, it's week 1. I know we had a full moon last night with the eclipse, but boy, it is a wild night here already at Ankeny Stadium. A look at the student section who are having a blast tonight. Looks jungle themed, a lot of camouflage thrown in there, and then the Southeast Polk student section out and about from the Altoona Pleasant Hill area.
They do travel well. They got a nice crowd there across the way on the east side of the stadium. So now this brings up kick from the 20 after the safety. Once again,
it's almost like when that penalty happened earlier for Southeast Polk.
So now into the wind, and they should get decent field position. The last time the kick was short, taken by Kiefer Reed at midfield. We're talking to each other who's going to get the ball. They should get decent position at the 40, maybe even at midfield.
Yeah, they're still thinking about it. I think they're thinking about that first kick that we saw that came up short, and it was Reed who took it. So here's the kick after the safety. This one's a lot better as Hunter Derby will take it. Cuts to the outside and is already tripping before he's pushed out of bounds. And Ankeny Centennial will set up shop at the 41-yard line. So now the offense comes back out. Brecken Miller has been the star so far, and he's starting to spread the wealth. I was worried it was just going to be Newman all night, Tim, but boy, this junior quarterback has really, I thought last year, very impressive as a sophomore. His talent has really jumped here in this offseason.
Yeah, he had to win the quarterback job during the preseason. They were looking at, him and Brian Doak, looking at who's going to be quarterback. So they went with the sophomore. He did end up doing a great job getting him into the playoffs. So now he's reading his receivers. He's looking at his check down. He's looking for his second options out there. He's got some great receivers. He's using them, spreading that defense wide. May open up that running game for Owen White.
Comes Derby in motion. Boy, he seems like a Caden Weegan for this offense. That one's going to be wrapped down. Owen White, ball's on the ground. Southeast Polk's on it. They're going to wait and see here if he was down. I believe that's going to be Southeast Polk football because I don't think anyone got a good look at it. We'll wait and see what the official call is by the officials.
Owen Overrock, and coming from the backside, getting the tackle. I thought the running back might have gotten down.
It is Southeast Polk ball as it is a fumble by Owen White. Take a look at the replay. Again, there is no replay, so think about that here when we watch this.
You got from the backside there.
I don't think he was ever technically on the ground. It looked like he was on somebody's stomach.
Yeah, so he was laying, he was laying on top of number 33, Lucas Johansson, senior at the so he really technically wasn't down. They say he wasn't down. Ball came out on the tackle. So now really need that defense to step up again for Ankeny Centennial.
A defense that has not been off the field very much, considering the safety of the punt. Here's Stanley Cooper back in the ball game. He gets the carry on first down and spins all the way forward for a first down. Boy, Stanley staring at 200 yards rushing here later tonight if he keeps up what he's doing. Another big first down as he continues to just pressure the middle of that defense.
Yeah, good tackle there by Kyler Vanderwert. Again, he's a load. It takes a lot to stick your head in there, and the big thighs that he has there as a running back, it's a headache. Need to get him more hit in the backfield if they can.
If You remember Southeast Polk won the toss, deferred to Ankeny Centennial. If they can maybe hold a little bit of clock here, they set themselves up well for the second half as we got 3:18 to go. There's Cooper again, waiting, still fighting through tackles. A lot of those players were on the ground before Cooper even got to the line of scrimmage. Kiefer Reed, arguably one of the best defensive players on this team, couldn't even wrap up Stanley as he got to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he got it in there a little bit high. That in a big running back like that's going to shrug him off, but he slowed him down so the rest of the defense could come in there. This is a big second down. You don't want to give him an easy first down. Still plenty of time on the clock. They can stay on the ground. Passing is not required at this time for Southeast Polk.
Now Adrian Cooper subs back into the backfield. 3 wide receivers out to the left. They got the tight end, Aiden Levy. Good to see him back on the field here on the right side as Cooper gets the carry and is wrapped down by a couple of Ankeny Centennial defenders. I believe Kyler Vanderwert was in there. Still not a bad gain. Be third down and short for the Rams.
Rams have been fairly penalty-free, so third and short, they may stay on the ground here. Look at that offensive line. That's been working really well for them. I'd say they just stay on the ground here, and you can still run 2 plays if you don't pick up the first down, but I don't see them putting the ball in the air when they got a running game like they do.
They went for it on 4th down and short just a little bit ago back in the first. Here comes 3rd and short again. Adrian Cooper gets the carry, breaks a tackle, continues to stay on his feet, and once again, another first down for Southeast Polk, and one that Centennial's going to hate watching on the film. They had him in the backfield. They just couldn't wrap him down.
Yeah, Wesley Olin shot the gap there, from his defensive back position. He had him around the ankles, but he's not going to come down with an ankle tackle. You have to get him wrapped up. Ware's on that defense. You're on there, and you give a first down on a 3rd down run. They're subbing people in. See some new players there playing the defensive line.
It is Cooper back in. You said it, Tim. They're starting to move a little bit here on the Centennial D-line, just trying to get fresh legs in there. Cooper again with the carry, staying on his feet and breaking tackles. Maybe give him 8 or 9. And a timeout is taken by Southeast Polk with 1:12 to go here in the second quarter. I mean, with the timing the way it is, it feels like if you're Southeast Polk, you probably don't have to go to the air, as the run game seems to be content. You got 3 timeouts, now 2 timeouts left in your back pocket.
Yeah, they're down there on the 10-yard line or on the 11-yard line. But looking at that offensive line, they basically just created a bubble. They don't pull. They're not doing anything fancy. They're just going straight ahead. And also with that tight end, you're really getting 6 blockers up there, so you're just getting weight on top of them. We're seeing the defense is shooting some of the gaps. They're getting people shooting in the backfield. They just got to get their feet underneath them and make a good form tackle instead of diving for the legs of a running back, because you won't be able to bring them down that way. But so the scheme is there. They just got to get some stops if they can to make them go for a field goal instead of a touchdown.
Southeast Polk, we knew coming into the season, would have one of the best lines in the state. Them and Dowling Catholic really far and beyond one of the best lines in the state. You can just see it right there, the size that they have up front. It makes Stanley Cooper's job quite easy. And Boston Bailey, who we haven't even show off his arm talent really so far tonight.
Not since the first quarter. He had a few throws during that first drive they had, but he's been content with the running game with Cooper and Cooper. We're not repeating ourselves. These are 2 different people.
Adrian and Stanley. This is Stanley in the backfield. On 2nd down and short, Stanley gets the call up the middle and goes in. Touchdown, Southeast Polk.
Touchdown Rams.
Yeah, Southeast Polk. They bring Cohen Trennell from the backside there. Gets a kick-out block. That's one of the few times they trap somebody, creating a hole. Cooper breaking tackles, and he danced into the end zone. So there's Trennell coming across the formation, getting a hit on the outside there, creating a little bit of a crease. That's all he needs to get to the end zone.
A pinball off several Ankeny Centennial defenders. And now Dugan will come on to attempt the PAT. Kick is up, and it is good. 21-15. Southeast Polk leads over Ankeny Centennial 6 plays on 43 yards. We'll be back. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Run, jump, lift, swim, compete, connect, breathe. Whatever your workout, you'll find it at the Y, plus a whole lot more. Right now, you can try the Y for free. Visit any branch or online at dmymca.org. One membership, endless opportunities. Your YMCA.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ames. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. Stop in and shop DeArmondAmes.com.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
He's got the. I think he's got the. I think he gets the coach of. I don't know. I forget which one he does.
Welcome back to the Central Iowa Sports Network. Southeast Polk and Ankeny Centennial, 21-15. The Rams lead over the Jaguars. Tim, you said it best here during our short break. 2 turnovers in this game. 1 for 2 points, really, and then on the other side, 1 for 7 points for Southeast Polk. That fumble by Owen White, costly for the Jaguars as Southeast Polk was able to take it down the field. So 1:06 to go. We'll see how Centennial wants to go about this last drive. See what they can get with the kickoff first. Here's Hunter Derby. Makes a couple guys miss, and here's Derby. Hunter Derby turns up the seam. Derby is out inside Southeast Polk territory where here's the answer to my question, what they're going to do here. I think they're going to try to go to the end zone. Take a look at the replay, Tim. He got great blocking.
He did. He took it the outside, then he got a little burst of speed there. They said he's out at the 48 of Centennial. He got bumped out there. I thought he made it up the field, but they marked him back. So that may change your play calling. They may have had one set of plays with a minute to go, and now you're at midfield. And you got a good pass. You got 3 really premier receivers.
You got 56 seconds, and you got 2 timeouts. Both teams have 2 timeouts left. Brecken Miller steps back out onto the field. Unofficially tonight, 174 passing yards. Here's first down. Miller fires downfield, finds Hunter Derby inside the 40-yard line, perfectly in the zone. The clock is going to keep moving, though. He was in bounds.
They'll stop for the chains, move the chains, and once they get set, they will motion it. And they have. So they still have their 2 timeouts, but the 20 is probably at least your minimum. You want to go for a field goal, so prevent defense by Southeast Polk.
Down the middle of the field again. Catch is made. What a grab. Owen Gasberry.
One-handed across the middle between the hashes. He went up, took it out of the air. I thought it was overthrown, but that was a great pass and catch.
They're going quick. They're going to spike it for Miller despite the 2 timeouts. So they spike it, and it'll be second down at 10.
I saw him do it a couple times there in warm-ups, but he's 6'5", 6'4", 6'5".
One more look at it. And how about the pass? Once again, just, I wouldn't say perfectly placed, but Owen makes it easy for him.
Yeah, Southeast Polk defenders looking back. Did he catch that? So now they're in technically field goal range.
Yep,
the whole playbook is open with 2 timeouts.
Metro Heating and Cooling red zone. Here's Miller. Here comes the pressure. Has to step up. Throws over the middle. This is caught by Newman, who's going to cut up field. He's down inside the 5, but there is a penalty marker down at the 33-yard line.
Might be a late hit on the quarterback. He was back there. They might have hit him or hit him in the face. It looks like a personal foul, possibly. See what they call.
No. Holding on Ankeny Centennial. That is the second holding penalty of the game for Asher Meganell. So that's going to back Centennial up. Are they going to have to use a timeout for the 10-second runoff?
No, they got 2 timeouts.
Yes, they do take the timeouts to eliminate the 10-second runoff. So timeout Centennial. That puts them back at third, or it'll be 2nd and 20 from, where are they at? The 24-yard line.
Around the 24-yard. They're still, I'd say the 20 is kind of your magic. That's where your field goal range. I think they still got enough of a kicker there. Realize the last time they had their extra point blocked. But you have time. You have 19 seconds. You have a timeout in your pocket. If you throw across the middle, you're going to burn a timeout. If you want to go to the sideline, you're going to get out. So it depends what they want to do. But burning a last timeout, if they want to get some more plays in, you still have time to run probably a good 2 plays before you have to have a field goal attempt.
Noah Manning's longest kick last season, 34 yards. He was just 1 of 3 from field goals last year. So we'll see what happens out of the timeout. 19 seconds to go. Ball is on the 24-yard line, and it's 2nd down and 20 for Ankeny Centennial.
They can get a first down if they get inside the 5. And the clock would stop automatically. They've not been reluctant to pass over the middle to his big receivers.
The last time they had a holding penalty, it delayed and pretty much ended their entire drive up to that point. On 2nd and long, Miller looking to the end zone for Luke Mitchell. Can't make the grab. Tried to go behind the back. No call. Good coverage out there by Jackson Douche.
That's when you can go either way. That the receiver was not always playing the ball, but the ball was thrown over. So that took about 6 seconds off the clock. They found a one-on-one on the outside there.
How about this update? Paul Yeager updating us from Ankeny State, or from Milwaukee Northwest. Hawks lead the Wolves 21-7.
That could be the other shocker of the night. So we have a barn burner here.
We do have a barn burner. It's 3rd and 20. Miller once again fires and miscommunication. Hunter Derby was on a comeback route, and nobody was in the end zone. And they're going to try Noah Manning here.
Yep, it's 9 seconds. That clock moved pretty fast on that incomplete pass. I think they know that 9 seconds is about what it takes to run a play here going to the end zone. So
about a 41-yard field goal here for Manning off the left hash. Again, that last one was blocked. Snap hold, kick is up by Manning, and it is right down the middle. Career long for Noah Manning.
Nice job by Manning, to bounce back for that. Better blocking up front. They really sealed it. They tried to get for the block. Nailed it. So the missed extra point, we've got a safety. We put this in there. It is a 3-point game now, but now it puts a field goal, to tie. It changes all your scenario. So that's a great kick there. Good drive. Great kickoff return by Mitchell to set that up to get to the 48-yard line. The holding penalty probably cost them a chance for a touchdown, but they salvaged 3 points out of that drive.
Just 4 seconds left here in the 2nd quarter. As we'll see if Centennial wants to short kick this, or if they want to go full out and see if Southeast Polk will just come out and take a knee. We'll wait and see. What a back and forth first half it has been. 21-18. Southeast Polk leading Ankeny Centennial in week 1 of this Iowa high school football season. Southeast Polk in the Radio Iowa polls ranked 6th to start the year. Ankeny Centennial was not ranked.
Centennial's giving Southeast Polk all they can handle. I think it'd be interesting to hear at halftime what coaches make adjustments. I think definitely on the defensive side for both sides. What we're going to do. You got a prolific passing offense. You got the rushing offense of Southeast Polk. What are we going to do to get those things corralled?
Austin Oliver will catch up with Coach Zelenovich here as we go into the locker room. This is going to be a short squib kick. Adrian Cooper is going to pick it up, and he hits the turf. There is still 1 second left on the clock, so Southeast Polk will have to run a play.
On the recovery for the Rams, Adrian Cooper will be 1st and 10 from their own 20.
And most likely will be a simple knee down. Now, granted, how Stanley Cooper's been running.
Yeah.
Why not try to hand it off and see what he can do?
I would definitely have to give it to him because he has an ability to break tackles.
Southeast Polk will get the ball to start the second half. They won the toss, deferred to Ankeny Centennial. And Boston Bailey will bring the offense out, and it looks like it is going to be a knee for the Rams. And down goes the knee. 21-18, Southeast Polk leads Ankeny Centennial. Austin Oliver down there on the field. Going to try to catch up with Coach Zelenovich here. After a successful first half, the offense obviously probably looking where he wants it to be. Defense maybe on the other hand. We'll send it downstairs to Austin.
Here with Coach, a lot of offense out on the field there. Cooper looked really good. Tell us what you saw out of him first half.
Yeah, I mean, it started with those guys. I thought we got off the ball well. Andrew, their first score. You know, they had a nice drive to start the game.
Defensively, Miller's kind of just throwing it all around the field. What can you guys do to maybe slow him down a little bit in the second half?
Well, we got to cover their guys. You know, we got to get them off the spot a little bit. Got a little pressure there late. You know, to hold them things up on the back end, and you know,
second half, Coach.
All right, thanks so much, Austin Oliver. Now time for our Iowa Corn halftime. We'll be back for the second half. Southeast Polk leads Ankeny Centennial 21-18.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ames. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. Stop in and shop DeArmondAmes.com.
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game.
Halftime here of the Centennial Southeast Polk game. Nate Lindgren is the activities director here. Entering year 5 already?
Year 5. It's gone by in a hurry.
That's not gray in the beard that I see.
No. Quite a bit here on the chin, yep.
This year, starting a new year, but can we quickly recap your summer sports with softball, state finals, heck of a good team, just ran into an even better team, but put a bow on it for me, will you, on your summer?
Yeah. Summer's a fun time of year. Obviously, it comes with its challenges when you're dealing with weather and reschedules, and the timing wasn't great this year because it was all at the end of the year, and we kind of had to scramble. But yeah, great summer. Baseball, again, just had a great team, came together really well, competed their butts off, and then softball, obviously getting to the state championship game, and one swing of the bat kind of changed the tide on that, but super proud of those girls. I think we had 7 girls on that team go on to play major college softball, and a bunch of them moved into Drake and Minnesota and stuff last week. So yeah, it was a great summer.
And next year, you talk about rainouts, that might not be an issue come next year. You're only going to have to deal with lightning.
That's right. Yep. So looking forward to the progress on our construction in both baseball and softball fields. They're hard at it at Ankeny High right now, and then just starting to move some stuff in over here at Centennial to get some things started too.
Speaking of moving things, behind us, Northview's going to look different this year. Those who are already in the stadium know that it just take your time, but this is going to evolve as the season goes on. What is next that we will notice at a football game here?
Yep, so obviously newsletters have been sent out for those that are not here tonight at the game, but if you're planning on coming, we encourage carpooling. New lot just north of the new locker room facility here at Northview, and then where the baseball and softball fields were just south of the stadium. Some expanded parking there, so that'll continue to evolve throughout the fall and spring as well. So just be patient, carpool when you can. We've coordinated with a bunch of businesses, some great neighbors, just east and north of the facility here. So utilize them, thank them, give them your business. So it's a group effort.
And speaking of facilities, so the parking lot to the south, I already noticed the parking lot to the north. Then in the off season next year after track, there'll be renovations here as well at Northview Stadium.
Yep, so phase 1 of the stadium renovation, we'll be doing the new track, new turf, goalposts, video board, scoreboard, hopefully the sound system as well. So it's just on cycle to get replaced. Everything's got a lifespan, and it's been earmarked for summer of 27, so we're excited for that project. And the field design is pretty cool. Been working with Ankeny High and the district office on designs on that, so we're excited for the future.
Speaking of designs, there's something behind us too. You got a little advertising in the stadium, and I know that's always a continued effort trying to manage one booster club for 2 schools and 2 different pair groups. You are constantly in meetings, I know, Nate.
Yes, we are. We're very fortunate in this community that we get the support that we do. I always say it takes a village, and it's no different when it comes to sponsorships and community support. So the businesses that you see kind of lining the visiting fences here, which will eventually expand to the home side too. A new relationship with Girl Dad Media here in town, Andy Polk, helping us create sponsors, tying the community together, and honestly trying to reduce maybe a little bit of the donor fatigue that we've noticed. So if you have any questions about that, you can reach out to Andy, myself, or Mike Baker at Ankeny High, but super excited about some opportunities that presents to us.
You want to know? You're encouraging more email? What are you doing, Nate?
That's part of the job.
That is part of the job. All right, part of the job is the fall. So we're hearing the band practice right now as we're recording this.
Yep.
So their big event comes at the end of the season.
Yep.
It'll be here in a combo effort.
Yep.
But let's discuss activities that aren't athletics first. What does the fall look like?
Yep. So yeah, band has obviously been putting in the hours throughout the summer and kicking off the fall here. Really talented group, excited to watch their performances at half times, and then also at their Saturday competitions across the metro and the state. So yeah, marching band, show choir's been rehearsing a little bit, getting their feet wet, getting into the school year. Our fall play, we have changed dates, so that's pushed back a little bit. So pay attention to the calendars on that. So yeah, super excited about our performing arts and all the other activities outside of athletics as well.
But this week, cross-country meet on Tuesday started. Yep. Actually able to have that one this year. You didn't have to dodge the 99-degree heat.
Yeah, the good thing about the early bird tournament is it's our first chance for our kids to compete, especially at their home course at DMAC. They've been a great partner of ours. Yeah, and unfortunately, the time of year, you're kind of susceptible to heat index and high temperatures. And yeah, we've been kind of behind the 8 ball on that. I think we've hosted it maybe 2 or 3 years out of my 5. So we roll the dice every year, but it's a great opportunity. It's a great fan-friendly course.
Oh, love it. Love
you can get to multiple points to watch your kids compete, and yeah, it was a great night.
I like that north part of the course because you've got boom, boom, boom. You got like 4 opportunities to see everybody. So if you haven't gone out to a cross-country meet next year, that's your thing. Volleyball, always an exciting time of year for them as well. How's Coach Reinhardt's squad?
Yep, Jess is always going to have a competitive team. That's one of her biggest qualities is getting the most out of the kids. Volleyball is very important in the Ankeny community, as you can tell between the 2 schools, actually the 3 schools, even with Ankeny Christian Academy. So it's very important for this community, but it's always fun to watch them compete. they progress and get better throughout the year. Obviously kicking things off, well, tonight, but you're watching this on Friday. So an outdoor volleyball matches at Valley Stadium against Waukee and Northwest, and then kind of a round robin type format on 2 courts. Outdoors, kind of a unique experience, but we're excited for it.
You're an old facilities guy. I mean, to put a court. Are you now mad that you didn't do it first? You have to watch the, you could. I mean, maybe in a perfect year when we talk about the turf going out, that would have been the opportunity to do it. Now next year, you'll just have another reason to showcase.
Yep. We've already had discussions on who's going to host it next year. I'm more than willing to do it, but we got to figure out what our football schedule is going to look like. Next year would be a new cycle for the redistricting. So there's a potential we could have a freshman football game here on Thursday night. So. We'll kind of wait and see on that. It'll probably be us or Waukee, but more to come on that, I'm sure.
Oh, that's always fun. Okay, what else in the fall do we need to know about that you've been up to?
A lot of meetings. Obviously, the GeoBond, different projects on that. So we've had a lot of meetings. Groundbreaking will be roughly June 1st to 27, both at the Performing Arts expansion south of the high school at Centennial, but also the Sports Performance Center that'll be kind of east of the gym there. So really fun process going through the design phases on that, and excited for the future for that to open probably like July, August of 2029.
Never a dull moment, is it?
Never a dull moment.
All right, appreciate your time. Nate Lindgren's the activities director. If you see him, say thank you. They do a lot of work. Give us your staff. I mean, even we have to say nice things about Blake every once in a while.
Yeah, I'm truly blessed with the staff that we have. All the way from our administrative support in our buildings, but also at district office. Can't thank them enough. But for the activities department, obviously Holly Anderson is the middle school AD at Northview. And then Tristan Spears is our high school activities and athletics manager. And then Blake Cruikshank, assistant AD. So yeah, truly blessed. We get a lot accomplished, and I don't take them for granted at all.
It's a lot of nights, it's a lot of early mornings, it's a lot of interviews, emails, questions. They are working through a lot, so a thank you goes a long way. Yeah. Even though you invited email already in this
Appreciate
interview.
That.
That's the way it goes. Nate Lindgren, we're back here at halftime here on CISM.
You want to get stronger, faster, healthier. You want more. You want to be part of something bigger than yourself. A place for people of all ages, all walks of life, that provides opportunities for all to succeed. We do that. We're the why. Build more than muscle. Build a stronger community.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Ford Summer Sales Event at the Armin Ford Indianola. 2026 Ford F-150s up to $14,000. Or take $10,000 off plus 1.9% for 66 months. Take $11,000 off on a 2026 Super Duty Crew Cab for current Ford owners. The Armin Ford Indianola.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right.
Thank you for tuning into today's broadcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of our live events. You can also follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram in the description below for more coverage of Central Iowa high school sports and the Des Moines Menace. Now, back to the game. Our friends at DeArmond Ford in Indianola are on a mission to raise $15,000 in September to support the Helping Hand Warren County. With every vehicle sold in September, DeArmond is donating $50 to the cause. If you're able to bring a cash donation or non-perishable food item, bring it to DeArmond Ford in Indianola all throughout September. Together, we can make a difference. Welcome back to the second half of action. Ready to roll here in just a few minutes. Blake Walker, Tim Halbert, Austin Oliver with you here from Ankeny Stadium. A full blood red moon tonight. Southeast Polk leads Ankeny Centennial 21-18. Summary of scores and drives here so far. We started out with a Luke Newman 7-yard touchdown catch for Ankeny Centennial. Southeast Polk was able to respond with a 7-yard touchdown run for Stanley Cooper. Stanley would then go back and on 89-yard touchdown run. That was a penalty with a unsportsmanlike conduct that was enforced on the kickoff. That made the score 14-7. Then it was Luke Mitchell, a beautiful 27-yard touchdown catch to make it 14-13. The extra point was blocked. Sets up for a punt for Southeast Polk on their next offensive possession and a safety out of the back of the end zone as the punt was sailed over the top of Dugan's head. And then on the next drive for Ankeny Centennial with a chance to extend the lead, it was Owen White who fumbled. Southeast Polk would turn it into a touchdown off Owen Cooper for Stanley Cooper, an 11-yard touchdown run. And then Noah Manning able to put a 41-yard field goal right through the uprights at the end of the half to make it 21-18. All right, Tim, this has been a back and forth battle. But if you're Ankeny Centennial, one thing stands out. You have to get a stop on this opening drive, just the way this game feels like it's headed.
Yeah, I think with the clock running with the running game, they're going to have fewer chances at offensive possession, so you want to make the most when you get the ball back. They had a great stop there when they had that safety, so they can stop it, but they got to get the tackles. They're getting in the backfield. They're doing a great job.
Let's go downstairs to Austin Oliver, who's with Coach Pizzetti.
Coach Pizzetti, Miller had a great first half. Kind of threw the ball over the field. Let's talk about him first.
No, he's doing a great job. Two-year starter, really came into fall camp ready to go, and it's showing tonight. Nice group of receivers that we have that he's finding. And nice protection up front.
I think the elephant in the room right now is what are we going to do about that running back? Just extraordinary half by him. You had a few stops on him a couple different times, but what can we change to slow him down a little bit in the second half?
You know what? He's very good. They're very big and coach well up front. We just got to fit our gaps. We need to make better run fits and slow him down.
All right. Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
All right, thanks so much, Austin. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, second half of action from Ankeny Stadium. Southeast Polk leads 21-18.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees. Save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi. Or save up to $9,500 on the 550-horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
Second half of action coming up here at Ankeny Stadium. Tim, we talked about Ankeny Centennial, a couple things that they might need to do here defensively. For Southeast Polk, they've given up 18 points so far. Give the safety in there, obviously, we'll call it 16 points, I guess. But talk about this coming in, because for Southeast Polk, you can't get taller if you're a DB, and they're really getting beat in the size category. So what do you think we see maybe a change out of Coach Zelenovich and his crew?
He mentioned right before right at halftime, they want to get more pressure on the quarterback because you get Miller standing back there, and he's really picking him apart because he's got a good arm, he's accurate, he can throw it up into the receiver. So look for more blitzes, but that may open up the middle. So it's the danger, it's the feast or famine. They know that they're not going to be able to run the ball, so I think they're going to force them to pass, and we may see 20 more passes out of Miller before the game's over.
Let's take a look at what's upcoming here on the Central Iowa Sports Network. Still plenty of action here to come over the next week when it comes to ball games. Lewis Central at Dowling Swimming. You can catch all of this here on the Central Iowa Sports Network YouTube channel. On September 1st, Ankeny takes on Southeast Polk on the volleyball court. And the next Thursday, Des Moines East and Des Moines Roosevelt. East versus Roosevelt in what should be a really fun Des Moines Public School battle. That's on Thursday Night Football at Mediacom Stadium. And then it's off to Friday. Waukee takes on Ankeny here. Ankeny's first home game of the season. Northwest heads to Valley for our game of the week. And then on the next week, or coming up after that, Valley heads to Dowling to take on for a volleyball matchup. Northwest at Dowling Swimming and Valley at Ankeny Swimming. So plenty of action across all the sports here on Central Iowa Sports Network. Again, you can follow along here on YouTube. Taking a look at a couple of scores around the league. Dowling Catholic leads over Valley 21-0. Ankeny has extended the lead, Tim, over Waukee Northwest 28-7. Johnston leads Waukee 35-0. Dallas Center Grimes leads Urbandale 21-0. Keep an eye on those Mustangs. Obviously new to 5A last year. They made the postseason last year. That's a fun team over there.
They do. They're in a friendly division over there. I think they can win a lot of games. And last year they were 6-3 or 7-2. They came to the regular season, so they made the playoffs. So, yeah, they've got a really good team. It's an up-and-coming team. They're kind of like what Waukee was probably about 10 years ago.
Yep.
Look for them to keep growing.
So the clock has hit 0 for halftime, and we are set to roll for quarter number 3 and 4. As we get set to roll here momentarily.
So we talked about where the wind was, and if there's a defer. So if Southeast Polk gets the kickoff, which side would Ankeny Centennial want to take so they can have the wind, at their backs in the fourth quarter?
75 degrees currently. Winds out of the southeast at 6 miles per hour. Beautiful, beautiful night for football. You couldn't ask for anything better. As Southeast Polk will take the field, getting set to return this upcoming kickoff. Brennan Swanson in the backfield. Seen a couple touches for him tonight so far, and Reed Thompson also there. Noah Manning is the one to kick this one off here for the Jags. A full red moon this evening at Ankeny Stadium. Had the eclipse last night. Here we go. Third quarter of action between Ankeny Centennial and Southeast Polk. We're back underway here at Ankeny Stadium as Noah Manning sends this one out the back of the end zone. And Southeast Polk comes back out offensively. Well, Boston Bailey there in that first half, Tim, 16 passing yards. 16 passing yards, 158 rushing yards. Centennial has outgained Southeast Polk so far, but it feels like momentum leaning toward the Rams so far.
Really, but we had the fumble as a big one, but 2 holding penalties really cost them on big drives. It's hard to overcome on those. So that's what really was the drive. So it wasn't so much that Southeast Polk stopped them, it was that they stopped themselves. So this is a big series for this defense. What did they adjust at halftime? They're getting the gaps. They're shooting gaps and getting in there. Can they get a hit in the backfield and make contact?
So they will start from the 20. Here's Stanley Cooper on first down. This time he is swarmed. Ankeny Centennial, that's a positive look if you're a Centennial fan. One of the rare times, maybe if not the first time tonight, negative yardage for Stanley Cooper.
Yeah, I think they're going to change up some linebackers. We'll see a lot of people, coming in there to play. But now you bring up, 2nd and 11.
They had Asher Meganell up on the line a couple times in that first half. He is not there this time. Southeast Polk's going to spread him out here on 2nd down. Man in motion. They're going to check this one out short to Swanson. And he's going to get upfield for a couple. It's going to be 3rd and manageable here for Southeast Polk as Centennial wants to get off the field on their opening defensive drive here.
Yeah, Reed did a good job. They set the corner out there, and Reed got the tackle, not letting him get downfield. It brings up a third and manageable. Probably see them want to stay on the ground with Cooper once again.
3rd down and 4 is the call. Again, we haven't seen a lot out of Boston Bailey, just 5 complete passes. But he's 5 for 5 nonetheless. And a early timeout for Coach Zelenovich. Just 10:38 to go here in the in the third quarter, so a little bit of miscommunication here by the Rams.
Obviously, it's pointing out how important this drive is, for Coach Zelenovich and their offense. He does not want to have a bad play in there, no gain, and having to punt deep in their territory, get the ball back right away because they know how tough it is to stop the Centennial offense. So see what they dial up. I didn't know if they had a pass play and players were too wide out. Something in the line, the way the defense is lining up, they didn't like it to call a timeout and save that play.
So it'll be 3rd and short here. And one timeout used for Southeast Polk in a tight game like this. They'll hope for the best that they don't have to use that timeout or maybe want that timeout later in the ballgame. But if you're Centennial, you'd love to get off the field here early. As here we go, 3rd and medium, if you will. Adrian Cooper is the one in the backfield now. Stanley Cooper is off the field. Here's Bailey, back to throw. Gonna look, fire over the middle. He's got his man. First down for Brennan Swanson. All the way up to the 38-yard line.
Yeah, nice job. The defense shifted over with the quarterback. Bailey throwing back across his body to a receiver coming from the left side of the formation. He was going to be open. Nice catch there, throw and catch to pick up the first down.
Brennan had to hit the turf. It was a lower throw, but Boston makes the most of it. That's one thing for Bailey when you haven't been throwing the ball very often. You kind of want to get in rhythm here in week 1, but he just hasn't had to. Adrian Cooper, once again back in the backfield. He'll shift to Boston Bailey's left hip. As here is Cooper. Gonna roll forward and is tackled, getting a couple on first down.
Good job by linebackers coming in. We have that gap responsibility. One thing a coach will tell you that if you line up even the guys bigger and you make a pile, just don't let them drive you off and make the hole a lot bigger. So they're really pinching down that inside because that's where Cooper wants to run, not giving him a lot of wiggle room to get out there and dance and make someone else miss. So they're going to key on him. Probably make Bailey a passing quarterback here and make him earn his keep.
A blitz from this near side, and Cooper hits the hole again. There goes Stanley Cooper. Stays on his feet and scores. Touchdown, Southeast Polk. 4 touchdowns in 3 quarters for number 0.
That is I'd say 62-yard touchdown run by Cooper. He went there, took it up the middle. A couple of missed tackles. He broke it there. Looks like Pizzetti almost had him there, tripped him up, but he kept his balance. He's a very talented running back. Good blocking there.
And again, just a couple hands on him. A valiant attempt by Rylan Pizzetti, but he just couldn't get there. Dugan's kick is up and good, and Southeast Polk extends the lead to 10, 28-18. We'll be back. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
58-yard touchdown run for Stanley Cooper. Gives Southeast Polk a 28-18 lead. As for the first time in what feels like a while, Tim, the Rams get to kick off from the 40.
Yeah.
It's a new sight. They haven't been able to do that in a while. They are kicking into the wind.
Wind seems to have died down, quite a bit there.
Unofficially, Stanley Cooper, 212 yards rushing on 12 rushes for 4 touchdowns. Unbelievable by the second-team All-Stater last year. As here comes Centennial and Sawyer Goebel, who gets wrapped down to the backfield. Beautiful tackling by Gabe Kingery on special teams to make the play. And now, Tim, the Centennial offense comes out with trailing their biggest deficit of the night in what feels like a must-score drive the way the defense has been playing.
They want to be able to move the ball. I don't know if they have to score, but they want to go and test what they did, see what the defense, what adjustments the Southeast Polk defense has done against this passing game. I doubt if we'll see them want to run the ball very much in the backfield, with White back there. But I think short passing game, see if they can keep them loosened up, because Miller's done a good job of spreading the ball around to different receivers.
They fake the handoff to White, and Miller is caught up and sacked down in the backfield by Cooper Chebuhar.
Yeah, Chebuhar, the senior defensive end, coming there, 6'3", 230, got in there. Miller was taking it. He was sitting back there quite a bit, waiting for something to come open.
Almost got out of the original tackle, but Chebuhar did not give up on the play. And it's a loss of 5 off the sack, the first official sack of the night.
Yeah, the left tackle's got to hold that block just a little bit longer to give that quarterback time.
Chebuhar had 5 tackles for loss last season, did not have a sack all of last year, so he's already improved in that category. Here's Owen White, motions out to the right. Miller's got to step up. Here comes the pressure by Southeast Polk. Miller gets around 1, and I think he's going to come just short of the line of scrimmage. Well, you said it, Tim, that they're going to go for more opportunities to go get the quarterback, and it sure seems like they're doing just that.
Yeah, they know that the offense goes through Miller, so they're going to have to pressure him. So wherever he goes, they got spies on him, linemen, linebackers. So if he comes to your side, you're blitzing, going upfield. If he comes to the other side, so we're going to see them putting a lot of pressure on.
Officials timeout. One of the guys that holds on to the marker for the down marker took a tumble. I think he's okay, but they're just making sure, and they're getting the clock set to what it should be.
Making sure that the marker's on the right,
yeah.
On the right mark.
Took a little bit of a fall. 3rd and 11 for Ankeny Centennial. Trying not to go 3 and out here. Miller, pressure coming again, fires downfield. This is going to be caught by Derby, but I think he's short of the marker by maybe about half a yard. It's decision time for Centennial, because if you don't get this, you're in a lot of trouble, and Centennial's going to go with the punt unit as they come up short by just about a yard.
They rushed 6 on that play, so Miller had to get the ball off, so he had to float it out there, so he couldn't put as much on it. Derby had to come back for it, so when he caught it, he was already down, so he left them a yard short. But the play was there. The deep out was there.
So Manning back to take the punt, and Reed and Swanson back to receive. This is a winding punt picked up by Swanson. Brennan gets to the outside, and that one's going to be coming back. We're going to have a block in the back on Southeast Polk. So Centennial catches a break. It's going to be backed up just a little bit there.
Yeah, Carson Erickson down there had good position to make the tackle, and he got shoved in the back. The sideline saw it, and so did the officials, so they'll bring it back from that spot. Now it goes back to the Centennial defense.
Who need a stop. Southeast Polk leads by 10. There's your block in the back call. 10-yard penalty from the spot. We'll see where they mark it. Looks like it's going to go to the about 38-yard line. Take a look at the replay here. It's going to be right here on the near side of your screen. Number 1 there.
Yep. Doesn't have to be a lot, but he did catch him in the back. So now it's up to the defense to make a stop here. They're getting them into a 3rd down and manageable. But the running game, you have to still be aware where Cooper's at.
That was Sid Tarawali, who was the reason of the penalty for Southeast Polk. And now Rams come back out offensively, where Boston Bailey just hasn't had to do much because the man next to him, Stanley Cooper, has been the workhorse so far. On 1st and 10, they go right back to him. And Cooper busts through a couple tacklers and is down for a couple. Austin Oliver reporting that Hunter Derby cramping down here on the bench. Something to keep an eye out on has been a big utility player, it feels like, tonight for the Jags.
Well, the few times I've seen like the off tackle, pulling on that play, or the guard, along with the tight end Drake Cox getting a kick out on the end. They're trying to create a bigger hole there for Cooper to run through. So a decent job of that defense stepping up, keeping it to a small gain.
Everybody bunched together here on second down and give it 6. Bailey back to throw. Going to check this one down short to his big tight end, Aiden Levy. He's going to get a couple more. It's going to be third down and short upcoming.
Brought down by number 27, Charlie Porter. Short pickup, it'll be third down, 3rd and 4.
So 3rd and 4 upcoming.
Good open field tackle there, not letting that misdirection. That the pass plays, they aren't going deep downfield. Does allow the safeties to come up quite a bit there and cover, shrink that field. But a 3rd and 4 for Southeast Polk definitely is probably one of their running plays.
That's what Cooper scored on the last drive. See if he can do it again. 2 wide receivers out to the left. They do throw with Bailey. Boston running out of time. Fires short. It's almost picked off. Well read by the sophomore Carson Erickson. And the Centennial defense comes up big.
Carson Erickson, he last played in Texas. He's moved up here, so he does a great job at the corner there. You're on the island by yourself for a sophomore. He had read that well. The defense did a good job. Bailey tucking it down, going to the sideline, but they big series for that defense to force a punt.
Erickson's not the biggest kid. The legs are pretty small. I saw him out there earlier. I was like, wow. But, boy, he almost makes a big-time play. This punt's going to be a little bit shorter, a.k.a. low to the ground. Centennial's going to wave everyone off, and the catch is made by Sawyer Goebel. Austin Oliver reporting the pickle juice is out for Hunter Derby. He's no longer on the bench, so we'll wait and see the verdict on that. Centennial gets a little bit better starting position here, Tim, and now what do you do? Because the offense, you're going to expect probably some quick passes because Southeast Polk is sending the heat to number 5. Now it seems like every play.
Yeah, the running game is non-existent, so they're pitting the outside. They're really rushing the outside, causing a lot of rush there. Whether it's Chibular, we may see Junkin in there. Look for quicker passes. The skinnies coming out there. The outs have been working well. We may see Miller rolling out because he's been very successful. He throws well on the run. We may see that as an option.
So first down and 10. Here comes Derby in motion. They fake the pitch to him. Miller fires into a tight window, and it's incomplete. Pass was intended for Owen White.
Yeah, just a tad behind him. He was back there. He had him open. He had a really good route there right on the numbers. Owen White seeing a lot of action, the junior.
Yeah, kind of thrust into this position with the injury of James Nard.
But it's good to see Hunter Derby back out there.
They stack 3 wide receivers here on this near side and 1 to the right. That is Newman who moves in motion. And White jumps. They're going to keep the play going. Miller's going to head upfield and take a tackle, but this one will be coming back. Owen dropped to the ground. Boy, penalties, Tim, have cost Centennial on a couple drives, and a false start's going to back them up just 5, but still sets an offense behind the mark.
It does. You don't want to be behind the chains like that, especially when you get into that second down, territory. There was a designed run play because the running back isn't.
Legal motion, offense number 26, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Legal motion is the official call, so that's going to back him up 5 yards.
So he went to the weak side of the formation. Newman came back in as a down. Tight end, trying to run something out there to the outside, get some positive yards. Really handicaps a quarterback when your running game is not as proficient. You're really forced to be more creative and putting a lot of pressure on being accurate passing.
2nd and 15 as Owen White moves in motion. Here comes the pressure, and Brecken has got to take off immediately. Didn't even have time to get in his progression. He's only going to get a yard. It's going to be 3rd and long as this Southeast Polk defense continues to hound the junior quarterback.
Yeah, Chibular's out there. Really did a good job. They're really forcing the quarterback, they don't want him to roll outside, so they're really pushing him in. In that center of the defense, they're too big. So now you're bringing up a third and long.
Third and long is right. Third down and 14.
I expect them to blitz one of their linebackers to get an extra rusher out there to pressure Miller.
Brecken back to throw. Going to lob this one up to the sideline. And again, just miscommunication. Derby was coming back on an in. And that one was lobbed to the sideline. Centennial goes 3 and out after forcing the punt. And a penalty stalls the drive once again for the Jaguars.
Yeah, he had Gasperi and Newman open in the middle, but he saw the one-on-one coverage on the outside. He tried to get something up along that sideline, but that pressure's coming in. Once again, they did a corner blitz on there. And that was what Coach talked about that right at halftime, was that we need to get more pressure on the quarterback.
Manning sends this one back the other direction, and already a quick fair catch signal by Reed Thompson, who will take it at the 36-yard line. That's where Southeast Polk will set up shop. 4:44 to go here in the third quarter. Rams lead by 10 over the Ankeny Centennial Jaguars. Couple score updates from around the metro. Downley Catholic still leads Valley 21-0. Ankeny over Waukee Northwest 28-13. Johnston taking it to Waukee 42-0. And Urbandale trailing Dallas Center Grimes 21-0. So the Rams will start at the 36-yard line. Iowa City Liberty, you were asking about it earlier, 14-7. They lead over Cedar Falls. Norwalk leads Indianola 7-3. Here's Cooper on first down, bouncing off defenders, and Stanley Cooper hits the hole once again. Can he stay on his feet all the way down to the 42-yard line? And just keeps racking up the yardage. The Southeast Polk student section loves it. In a play, Tim, where it felt like he was only going to get 3, he busted open for about 20.
Yeah, he really keeps his balance, and someone came in for the safety position, really hit him, but could not bring him down. I think that was Pizzetti coming in there, putting a lick on him. But when you're about 180 pounds and you're hitting someone who's 2 1/4, I can tell you by physics who's going to win that one.
He's bouncing around there on the sideline, just trying to keep himself loose. Adrian Cooper now steps up into the ball game after that 21-yard rush by Stanley. Here's Adrian, going to bounce this one to the left side, and Adrian Cooper hits the corner. Adrian Cooper all the way to the end zone. Touchdown, Southeast Polk.
Yeah, Cooper, once he hit that outside, he gave him a little bit of a leg. He bounced it out really quick. That was an angle that just couldn't get there. I think they tried to pinch him down, but he went a little horizontal, then took it up. Once he got around that corner, he too has got some wheels, and he took it down the sideline. There was no one there to stop him from getting a touchdown.
43 yards for Southeast Polk's Adrian Cooper. Not Stanley, Adrian Cooper. Kick is up and right through. Southeast Polk pulling away. 35-18. The Rams lead over Centennial.
Run, jump, lift, swim, compete, connect, breathe. Whatever your workout, you'll find it at the Y, plus a whole lot more. Right now, you can try the Y for free. Visit any branch or online at dmymca.org. One membership, endless opportunities. Your YMCA.
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and Ames. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. Stop in and shop DeArmondAmes.com.
Iowans are working hard, but high prices make it even harder to keep food on the table. Record numbers need help. Your neighbors, your friends, your community. Stopping hunger starts here.
Welcome back to the Central Iowa Sports Network. Take a look. 43 yards from Adrian Cooper. The Coopers going off tonight here for Southeast Polk. That's just speed wins on the corner, Tim.
Yeah, he's got some good wheels out there. Then once he had wide open lane there, he changed positions. He did a really good job. It's hard to get the angle out there when he gets the guy to the outside. They're trying to force him in. He bounced it out. So now you want to get this kickoff return and get a good field position for Centennial.
Kick is taken by Sawyer Goebel. Sawyer staying on his feet. Here comes Goebel to the near sideline before he's pushed out of bounds. And down goes the bench. And all the equipment with it. So Centennial gets decent field position to set up shop here, but boy, they're just not moving. Here's one more look at the replay.
Yeah, took it up there, did a nice job switching the ball. One little thing there, he switched the ball to the outside, to the sideline side to prevent any kind of fumble there. So they get the ball at the 38-yard line. That's where he stepped out. So see what the offense is doing here, what they're adjusting if they're going to go with the empty backfield. But Miller's been under duress here this second half, trying to get anything going, not quite like the passing stats he had the first half.
Yeah, he's definitely not having as much fun as he did in that first half. A lot of pressure here for this junior quarterback. On first down and 10, he's going to check this one down short to Newman. Newman breaking tackles, and Luke Newman has the first down, trying to hold on to the football. Southeast Polk ripped it away. Are they going to say they took it away?
They're saying no comeback, that he was down.
He put that ball high in the air. I was wondering if Southeast Polk would take that away.
He cut it over the middle, but he was there. But then
I think right in there it gets.
But forward progress was stopped, and then they're ripping the ball out. So that's not going to be.
All it takes really is one touchdown, and it feels like Centennial's back in this game, as we do have an injured Southeast Polk player down. Jack Shields cramping up over on the far side. Usually happens here in this first game of the season. You gotta stay hydrated. You gotta remember that hydration is key.
You don't have that, there's practice sweating and you're out there working and you think you're hydrated, but in a game, the adrenaline picks up there, you're sweating a lot more, you're exerting a lot more on each play, so I think it's easy to get dehydrated here.
Looking ahead at the season for Ankeny Centennial, you talked about it, Tim, earlier, but just a very tough schedule. They go to Linn-Mar next week on the road, head out to Eastern Iowa. They're back here on September 11th to take on Des Moines Lincoln. They go to Ankeny, a.k.a. they stay here. They take on Ankeny September 18th. They go to Urbandale, or they're home against Urbandale on the 25th, or home against Valley on the 2nd of October. On the road to Indianola, they get Dowling Catholic here on the 16th, and then they end the season all the way up in Sioux City to take on Sioux City North.
You need to report to the concession stand. Riley Kellogg.
On the other side for Southeast Polk. Next week, they go to Iowa City Liberty, a team they lost to last year in the postseason. Then they get Norwalk and Dowling Catholic at home, at Ottumwa, home against Iowa City High, at Waukee Northwest, at Johnston, and home against Des Moines East. That is a tough schedule as well. First down and 10 from about the 50. Miller faked out the edge there, as this one's going to be tossed down short, and a couple for Owen Gasberry. I don't know who that was for Southeast Polk, but he was fooled as he thought Owen White had the ball.
Yeah, really good play action fake by Miller. I think that was to Owen White. Did a nice job. Owen Gasberry caught that short, but used his length and picked up another 4 yards to make it, a second and 3. Opens up the playbook a little bit more. See if they want to go take a shot deep downfield.
Miller finds himself all alone in the backfield. This time the ball's on the ground. Ball is picked up, and it's a fumble for Centennial, and it's scooped up by Lucas Johansson.
You couldn't tell if the running back thought he was going to get it and wanted to keep it in there, but it was a mishandle there coming in. I think the quarterback thought the running back was going to take it. He didn't, and then the read wasn't there. Second turnover here for Centennial in this game, and not a great field position, really giving the field position back to Southeast Polk on the 48-yard line.
Yeah, this is exactly what Southeast Polk wanted to see, to have the ball in Centennial territory. They'll start at the 48-yard line, and back comes that man, Stanley Cooper, back out onto the field with Boston Bailey in the offense.
The offense is just starting to find some tempo, leaving that defense off the field. That's probably the biggest thing. They've been on the field the whole second half.
They shift over to the left side of the line. Here's Cooper, gets the handoff. Stanley busts this one to the outside, and Cooper turns upfield, continues to break tackles, and is down inside the 25-yard line.
Cooper on the carry, pushed out of bounds.
And what you're seeing is a lot of offensive linemen, tight ends, going downfield. We're seeing them, leading the parade down there.
And for Centennial, Tim, that defense has been on the field a lot tonight.
They have. We're seeing, Levy in there, a tight end. They also bring in These number 18, yes, they had Dre Cox coming in there. So they're getting the blocks from the big, heavy formation. So you get 5 linemen, 2 tight ends in there, really, paving the way for the running back. No reason to put the ball in the air.
Coopers have accounted for 5 touchdowns for Southeast Polk tonight. Stanley's got 4 of them. Stanley breaks through 1 tackle, and here goes Cooper again, trying to get himself to the edge. He cuts up inside this time, and he's down inside the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone all the way down to the 13-yard line. His helmet does come off. That's one way Centennial, I guess, can get him out of the ball game.
Yes. You exchange one Cooper for the other.
So Adrian Cooper will now step back into the ball game.
Once again, the defense is in the backfield. They're getting in the backfield. They're getting a shot at the running back. This is a really quality all-state running back that you really have to break down before you get up to hit him. You really got to slow down, see where they're going, and force him to stop his forward motion and go on. They're kind of flying in there a little out of control, trying to make a high tackle. He's just going to shrug him off.
Ramsey Ragland was back in there as Southeast Polk, I think, got the timeout off. They were running low on the play clock. And it looks like they did get the timeout off. We're going to take a quick break. 35-18, Southeast Polk leads.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Make this the summer event at DeArmond Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram Knoxville. Save up to $22,000 off on new 2026 Ram 1500s. Get 2.9% for 84 months or $7,000 off on a 2026 Grand Cherokee with 2 and 3 rows. All new 2026 Cherokees. Save up to $4,500 or 4.9% for 84 months. Plus take $10,000 off on a 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie Hemi. Or save up to $9,500 on the 550-horse 2026 Charger Scat Pack. Stop in at DeArmond Automotive Knoxville.
Inside the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone, Adrian Cooper gets the call, and Adrian Cooper scores. Touchdown, Southeast Polk.
Yeah, he was going to take it to the outside, planted that outside leg and cut it in. He's got really good, cutting ability to score that touchdown. He was going to go to the left, gave him the leg, took it inside.
Well, he paid for it at the end. Good hit by Erickson, but not enough. And how about the Coopers tonight? Adrian and Stanley have accounted for all 6 touchdowns as that kick is up and good. 42-18, Southeast Polk leads over Ankeny Centennial in a game that is just, at halftime, Centennial had more yards than Southeast Polk. Now Southeast Polk just under 400 yards this game. Not a tale of 2 halves by any means, but boy, defense has just struggled tonight for Centennial, and the size really is the main factor.
Yeah, that turnover right before half where they had that fumble, which, because Centennial had the lead at that point, 15-14, but then that fumble let them, get back, take the lead before half. Then the adjustments at halftime, knowing that offensive line really taking over, and Centennial having a tough time really making some big stops. And then the offense, worried the lack of having a big running game. They're going to have to find some ways to get a running game going to complement that really high-powered passing offense, because that really does make it work. Like I say, two turnovers and 2 big holding penalties really been the only thing stopping that offense.
Got to give a lot of credit to the offensive line, who is obviously helping pave the way for this terrific running performance. Unofficially, Stanley Cooper with 272 yards, 4 touchdowns on 16 carries. Adrian Cooper, unofficially, 8 carries for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. Southeast Polk has run for a lot of yards.
When you're playing defense like that, and you're getting hit like that, they're kind of running over you, get this big offensive line. It's hard to stay 4 quarters to stick your nose in there to want to hit that guy. You kind of start letting up a little bit. It kind of takes the spirit out of you. That's one of the cruel realities of football.
This one's going to be a squib kick that's picked up and dropped to the ground. A final from Valley Stadium. Dowling Catholic defeats Valley 21-0.
Kickoff recovered by number 48,
When was the last time that Valley was shut out?
Maybe against Dowling.
Yeah.
Honestly, might have been.
Dowling, a lot of the polls, Dowling is, the
One or
number
two,
one ranked team out there.
Well, after tonight, what's that score to that Northwest game? It is 28-13. After tonight, Dowling probably will be the number one team in the state of Iowa. Milwaukee Northwest trailing 28-13 to Ankeny. Back out is the Ankeny Centennial offense, looking for some life here with 1:43 to go here in the third quarter. Here's Miller stepping up in the pocket. This time he's got a little bit of space. He's going to take the contact to get upfield. It's a positive gain for the quarterback.
Yeah, he may want to learn to get out, take the out of bounds a little bit quicker. He doesn't need to get that last extra yard, but that rush is really coming in, especially from the outside. There's nothing, there's no rolling out. They're really going to contain him on the inside, so he may have some running room. Not getting much time to get back there, get set up, and let the passing lanes develop, in their patterns.
Second down and call it 3 here for Miller. He's going to pump fake. This time he's going to go down the middle, and he's got Gasberry, but he just shorts him. Owen couldn't make the grab, and it's going to be third and short.
But that, I think he was open, but there's a result of when that rush is getting into that quarterback, he's floating back. He's not be able to step into his throw, so he kind of threw it off his back foot. You can't get as much on it, and that's a result of a rush just pounding him here this whole second half. Because he did have him open. It's a great play call. He's having a hard time stepping up in the pocket and really throwing like we've seen him do in the first half.
Count it third down and 3 with 1:27 to go here in the third. Owen White still in the tailback position. They fake it to him. Now they're going to fire this one short. Gasberry's got it, and he's got the first down. Good tackle made by Reed Thompson. Centennial moves the chains.
That's one of the better plays out there, taking that run play.
Got a
injured player?
Believe so. I can't tell if it's...
I think it's one of the sideline trainers, or I don't know if it's a player down.
I can't tell. We're kind of blocked in here. I didn't see a player go down, but it's a player, and it is. Yep, it is Owen Gasberry.
He might have got rolled up on on the tackle there.
They're going to check on him.
48-yard line.
Officials trying to get Centennial out of their huddle here as they're checking the play. Play clock's running. 1:19 to go. Austin reporting cramps on Gasberry. Miller, play action fake, steps up in the pocket, fires over the middle, and Newman thought he had Newman, but a little bit behind him. It'll be second down. Well, we know tonight Cade has been one of the top targets. He had 10 receptions all of last season. And already tonight, 9 catches. So he's already almost matched his full reception total last season.
We're also seeing Kiefer Reed out there as playing a wide out from normally playing a linebacker.
Second and 10, Miller over the middle. This is caught. Was that Reed? He took the hit, paid for it. Hard to see. Yes, I think it was Reed.
That's a brave man to go across the middle between the hashes there, in the middle of that secondary. Is a good throw by Miller. He's open, but that's... And the defense is playing a bit of a shell. They're playing a deep cover, too, so that middle is going to be open. The linebackers don't get back far enough. There is a zone in there. So look for the tight ends maybe to exploit that. And when they do, then that leaves it wide open for Mitchell down the sideline.
He's not going to forget the hit by Owen Overbrockling, who has played great tonight at linebacker. Miller stepping out, and he's going to have to chuck this one away. Great contain by the Southeast Polk defense, especially on the edge. Going to bring up another second down and 10 as the pressure has just turned up. That's another thing. You've got to give a lot of credit to Coach Zelenovich and his entire staff. They have recognized that in the first half, Miller just got to stand in the pocket and pretty much took all the time he needed. They ramped that up, and it's cost the junior quarterback a lot here in the second half.
And when you're not able to run, those defensive ends, they just pin their ears back, and they're going on the outside shoulder of that tackle, and the tackles have a hard time stopping them, and they're just running upfield and then just finding the quarterback back there. So very hard second half here for Brecken Miller.
Play action fake again. He's got Newman short, and he goes does go to Luke. Nice open field tackle once again by Reed Thompson. Reed is going to rack up some tackles here in 2026. Playing really well at that linebacker position. That looks like that will be the final play of the third quarter. A lot of work to do for Ankeny Centennial. What a quarter by Southeast Polk. 42-18. They put up 21 here in the third. We'll see you in the fourth. They lead Ankeny Centennial. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hey, high school students.
Joe here with Westside Auto Pros. I know that sometimes your car can be inconsiderate and need work when you're short on cash. So here's what I'll do. When you get your car fixed at Westside Auto Pros, I'll loan you the money to pay for it. Whatever you want done, repairs, services, tires, you name it. Get your car back on the road and you won't even pay any interest for 90 days. My wife thinks I'm nuts.
No interest, Joe? Are you nuts?
Get your car fixed now and pay later only at Westside Auto Pros. You don't suppose she's right?
Ford Summer Sales Event at DeArmond Ford, Indianola. 2026 Ford F-150s up to $14,000. Or take $10,000 off plus 1.9% for 66 months. Take $11,000 off on a 2026 Super Duty Crew Cab for current Ford owners. DeArmond Ford, Indianola.
One more quarter of action here from Ankeny Stadium. Blake Walker, Tim Halber, Austin Oliver with you here in the first game of the season here at Ankeny Stadium. First game of the Iowa high school football season. Southeast Polk leading Ankeny Centennial 42-18. It was 21-18 when we went into the break. Here's Miller. Going to fire this one downfield to Derby, and it's in and out of his hands. I was kind of surprised they didn't get Miller on a false start. He was kind of walking back before the ball was snapped. I think Southeast Polk's sideline was thinking the same exact thing. Here's a look at the replay. Yeah, he took a step back.
If just a little bit underthrown, but I'd say that was something that Hunter Derby liked to have back. So definitely a 4-down territory.
4th and 3 is the mark.
Owen Gaspari's back out there.
Austin just telling us pickle juice once again being used. So 4th and short. Another play action fake over the middle, and it's just behind Newman. And Southeast Polk will take over on downs. Just been a couple more of those throws, but you know, Tim, when you got a couple players running right to you, you're going to probably rush just a little bit more, unlike you did in that first half.
There was no running option there that even a quarterback could take it and try to get the game or get the 4 yards on his own. Owen Oberbrockling, across the middle, just might have got a finger on that. Because it's a very tight window when you go across the middle.
Boy, how interesting is it going to be here for Centennial here this next week of practice? Because if you're Linmar or who's next down the line, you'll watch tape from this game and we have to get to number 5. Now, granted, we have not seen James Narrett tonight. We don't know what that running game consists of. But it seems like at least Southeast Polk here on night 1 has solved a little bit of what you can do defensively here against the Centennial Jaguars. So 1st down and 10. Stanley Cooper still back in the ball game. This time they wrap him up as he gets about a yard. Took 2 guys that time.
Yeah, Cale Kasperi in there as linebacker position. Get the tackle, wrapping him up. That's what it takes is 2 guys. You could really key on the running back. I don't see that. You might see Bailey take off and run, but it's really going to be heavy Cooper here until Ankeny proves that they can stop him.
And if you're Southeast Polk, probably just favoring the clock here, wanting to get this clock down, continue to work this thing down, and get out of here with the winner. They spread everybody out here. Cooper's still in the backfield, switches over to the right side. Under 11 minutes to go. Bailey going to fire this one over the outstretched arms of Brennan Swanson. Surprised we haven't seen the tight ends a little bit more for Southeast Polk tonight. Now, granted, their blocking has been great, but Boston hasn't had to pass a ton, but Aiden Levy, I think, has just 1 catch. Just something that keep an eye out on as the season progresses.
And Boston Bailey, he only threw 98 passes, last year. He's really good for about 10 to 12 passes a game. And when you're running so much, I think you just get out of your rhythm and being a passing quarterback.
Bailey. Fire this one short, is incomplete. Hits the turf, and it'll be 4th down. A rare 3 and out.
Yeah, when they go to the passing game, they definitely can have them covered. I think the defensive backfield for Centennial is one of their strengths. They can really cover with anybody. It's just, that's an exceptionally heavy run team. The size of their offensive line, the backs that they have. We're seeing probably the two best. Stanley Cooper really might be the best running back we see all season.
As of right now, I don't think there is any in 5A that jump off the page and had as much hype as Stanley did. Southeast Polk has cleaned up those punts ever since that safety, as this one will be taken as a fair catch, taken by Sawyer Goebel. So Ankeny Centennial sets back up on the 33-yard line with 10:29 to go here in the 4th quarter.
And the Southeast Polk defense is going to give them quite a bit of cushion. Those two safeties are going to play about 20 yards off the ball. And the linebackers, they're dropping off pretty deep, so if you can get somebody underneath, the clock, take the short yardage if you can. Take what you can, march down the field. Get some rhythm built back into that offense like you had the first half, and I think a touchdown here would do wonders for the offense.
Might see a heavy dose of Gasberry and Newman. Here's Miller. That ball was batted in the air. It's picked off. Intercepted by Cody Weingar. And Weingar is down inside the 15. That ball was tipped, and Weingar with the first INT of the season for the Southeast Polk defense.
We can see who tipped that ball in there, but I think the receiver was open. He rolled out there.
Looked like number 95, Tyler Cunningham.
Yep, he was trying to go out there to Owen Gaspari out there on the outside. Was tipped like that, especially when you go into the flat, that leaves it, to a linebacker or a corner to picking that off and taking it. Luckily, he didn't take it in.
I believe it was Miller who had the official tackle at the end. But an unfortunate break for the Ankeny Centennial offense, as now in the Metro Heating and Cooling red zone, Southeast Polk's got the ball right back. And here's Stanley Cooper. Got to run ahead and get this thing down close to the 5-yard line, most likely at the 5. Stanley looking for touchdown number 5 on the night.
5-yard line, it'll be 2nd down.
A tale of two halves for Ankeny Centennial. Trailed 21-18. And boy, Southeast Polk has just turned up just a little bit more here in the second half, and a lot of issues here for Centennial. Cooper once again standing in the backfield. Hand off to him. That time ripped down. Nice tackle that time by number 53 for Centennial, Kipton Curlis.
One thing is not unsung there is I look at that 55, Logan Crowner, the senior defensive lineman, he's had to line up against that it's a 305-pound guard all night long, and he's been holding his own. I mean, he's going to need an ice bath tonight, probably tomorrow. That's a lot for defensive tackle. You don't get your name on the tackle chart, but you are having to slug it every single play. So doing a good job plugging up the middle because they have not blown them off the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 2. Cooper going to push forward. I don't think he's going to get there, so it's going to be 4th and about half a yard. Looks like Adrian Cooper's going to come out. We have yet to see both of them on the field at the same time. It's either been one or the other, and that's exactly how it's going to stay.
Yep, the other Cooper comes in. What if we'll see, a quarterback?
I don't know. Boston,
they
could do it. Boston could do it.
But you don't want to risk your quarterback. So we got these big running backs. We're bringing in the heavy formation.
We're going to have to take a timeout here as the play clock is down to 5 seconds. And Coach Zelenovich making the walkover. We'll call the timeout. 8:07 to go here in the 4th quarter. Quick timeout here for Southeast Polk. Going to have one timeout left.
Centennial Football Committee would like to take the
Going to have to think about this one, 4th and short, but most of the time, I think maybe once or twice tonight, they haven't been able to gain a yard on a short rushing play.
We'll see if he's deciding, does he want to go for the touchdown? Does he want to just, it's a field goal will make it 51-18. Does a touchdown really, do much for you? But you got those big boys up front. It'd be hard to get enough leverage underneath where the running back just brute force pushing forward and getting hard in a row.
Take a look at a couple more scores around Class 5A. Iowa City Liberty, who Southeast Polk plays next week, 21-7. Boy, that's going to be a blast next week. Roosevelt defeats Lincoln 19-6. And last time we knew, Ankeny was still leading Milwaukee Northwest 28-20. Norwalk leads Indianola 14-3. Ames leads Marshalltown 14-0.
We appreciate your support of Jaguar football.
So Centennial's defense going to try to get a stand here. The first down marker is at the 1. So this is not 4th and goal. And the ball's on the 3. Boston Bailey is under center. They almost got a fullback in there.
I think you're right.
Here's the handoff. Nope, play action fake. They throw to the back of the end zone. Touchdown. Aiden Levy.
Talked about he doesn't catch the ball much. They rolled it out. That was going to be that they really had stopped the run. Good rollout there by Bailey. He just took his time. He didn't have to rush it. He just rolled in, little inside out. When the run game's going like that, that pass is always going to be open.
Boston Bailey's first touchdown throw of the year. Aiden Levy had 1 touchdown all of last year. He's tied that total now. 49-18. Southeast Polk leads over Ankeny Centennial. We'll be back. You're watching the Central Iowa Sports Network.
Hi, I'm Chris from Fireplace Superstore. Outdoor furniture season is here, and we've got you covered with the best selection in Central Iowa. We're featuring Poly Furniture by Berlin Gardens. Once you've seen the fit, finish, quality, and materials of Berlin Gardens Poly Furniture, it makes everything else look like it was built in somebody's backyard. We also have Iowa's best selection of aluminum, wicker, wrought iron, cushion, and sling. Fireplace Superstore, just west of Homemakers at 109th and Douglas.
Ever have one of those awkward moments when a business disappointed you? You got ripped off? Didn't get what you expected? The Better Business Bureau can help you avoid these uncomfortable situations. BBB accredited businesses are honest, ethical, and reviewed annually by the BBB. Don't experience another awkward moment with a bad business. Trust the ones that operate with integrity. Look for the BBB seal. It's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
A lot doesn't have to do a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Grinnell. Ready to roll here after the kickoff as Southeast Polk 49-18. Southeast Polk leading over Ankeny Centennial. 28 second half points. 28-35, or actually, 35 unanswered as we're everywhere here on this opening kickoff. Or this kickoff back, as they're just going to call this one back. Somebody missed the whistle count. Texted with Austin Oliver. I think, our play of the game obviously going to be probably Stanley Cooper, obviously, but might try to chat with the whole offensive line. Yeah. Give those boys a little bit of recognition. They have earned it tonight.
They have it. It's hard to pick out which one blocked the best.
Derby will take it for a touchback over the line. We're going to have a really late flag down here at about the 36-yard line, 37-yard line.
Might have been, sometimes it's a holding down there. We mentioned Stanley Cooper at the beginning of the game that we know he was a player to watch, and he is. A lot of times he was hitting the backfield and he just broke tackles. I mean, he gained a lot of those on his own, but he was patient, waiting for the hole to develop, and then hitting it, where the lineman created a hole for him. So he's got really good vision, breakaway speed. He's got, he's the full package.
I don't really know if they know what the penalty is. I think they know, but they're trying to figure it out.
Personal foul. Return team, number 39.
Did you hear it? I didn't hear it.
He said personal foul on.
But then he said something else, and I didn't catch it. But a personal foul of some sort on Ankeny Centennial.
Yep.
All right. That's going to back up Centennial a little bit more.
So the penalty moves the ball back to the.
What you don't want to do is have the last series you end up an interception. They scored a touchdown. You don't want to go back and repeat and then force another turnover at this point. You want to get the offense back in there and find something positive, get some first downs, get some movement in there, kind of find your mojo back. Even though you're back into the shadow of your goalpost, you want to have positive output on the offensive side.
Whistles blow again. Can't tell who that is in the middle of the field for Southeast Polk who's walking to the sideline. We didn't spot the ball right.
Yeah.
That's what it was. All right, respot it now. First down from the 10. Miller caught at the sticks by Newman, gets upfield. Luke is going to have a lot of grabs this year.
Yep.
And it's been very impressive tonight. And a couple different ways. Obviously, he's really good through in the middle of the hash marks, but boy, at the sideline, he's just a big body that can almost box out a couple players.
Yeah, he has the ability as a tight end to play outside of the numbers. He gets up there and he gets downfield quickly and does really plants his foot and gets the out, so the quarterback can get the ball out there for about 11-yard gain.
Short catch, Luke Mitchell upfield. Couple more. And really, there's not going to be a lot of teams that have DBs that can compete with the size of Ankeny Centennial. I think line play will be the give or take of what happens to Centennial this year. Whatever their record ends up being, it all depends on the offensive and defensive line.
Yeah. The quick timing routes work really good with this offense. That's one thing that Miller does well. He's got the receivers to do that. They run really good routes. Now it's a matter of, protecting the football and getting into the middle of the field.
Derby in motion. This time they hand off to Owen White, and he is ripped down in the backfield. Nice play by Jack Shields. That's another thing for Southeast Polk. We've called names, but it's been a lot of different names for Southeast Polk defensively. This is a team that, came back returning only 3 guys on defense, I think. And Owen Oberrockling, really one of the guys that I feel like I haven't called very often tonight, but he still made plays.
Yeah, he did. He's kind of spearheads the middle. He's done a nice job of covering the tight ends coming out.
Miller almost falls back on his own foot. That ball was tipped. That looked like Jameis Winston in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah. That was Chebular in there getting a rush on there, but I think he backpedaled. I think Miller's going to see the rush in his dreams, tonight. This whole second half,
boy.
they've really put a lot of pressure on him. It really disrupts the quick timing routes. When you get, second and long, you're trying to get, you get third and long. You need more time back there, and the defense, this really is a good team defense, is not giving them any time to sit back there and pick them apart.
Over the middle, Newman pays for it, drops it at the end. They're going to say incomplete. Well, he's had 3 or 4 guys around him all the time.
Yeah, when the few times you'll see him not make the catch, but he's taken, when you go across the middle a few times, you do take a beating, and he's had, he's taking some good shots tonight.
It will be 4th down and 10, and Manning is going to come out and send this one back. Tough night here for Centennial, but a lot of positives in that first half. There's Manning going to boot this one back. Southeast Polk's going to let this one just go. Takes a Rams bounce, and Centennial hops on top of it with Urban Ingram. Rams offense will come back out. We'll see if it's the starting offense or if they're going to run a couple backups here.
31-yard line. Rams will take over 1st and 10.
49-18 is your score. Southeast Polk leads over Ankeny Centennial. Ankeny defeats Waukee Northwest. 28-20 is your final score. So the Hawks go on the road and take down what many people said was the #1 team in the state. Good win for that crew.
We're seeing number 10 coming in, Austin Mart. Backup quarterback for Southeast Polk.
Austin played to start the season for Southeast Polk. This is a handoff to Josh Erich, and Erich going to get upfield for a first down. Josh last year, 14 carries, 157 yards, and 4 touchdowns. So definitely got his fair share of carries in 2025.
See, a lot of it is, duty like this when you have a big offensive line. They get the lead like that. You're going to see a lot of guys get some playing time. You got your backup offensive line in there. These are valuable minutes, for depth in here, is getting guys into the, game speed.
Both teams on the road next week. Southeast Polk starts the season with back-to-back road games as Erich gets forward for a couple. Good tackle in the backfield that time by number 55, Logan Crowner. The Rams go to Liberty to take on Iowa City Liberty. The Lightning, who fell short last year in the state title game to Dowling Catholic. Ankeny Centennial goes on the road to take on Linn-Mar. Second down and 8. Austin Martin in at quarterback. This is a handoff to Oliver Munson Martin. And OMM takes that one up the field. It's going to be 3rd and short.
Yep. Keep the clock going here. See, there is no reason, like I said, for them to pass. We're going to see just the run game. You may see Mart, do a rollout. He may tuck it and run, but at this point, with the running game that they have, just kind of keep running off tackle.
Third down and short here for the Rams. With under 5 minutes to go here in this one. Move 2 to the left to the right side here. Handoff again, and Erich is ripped down. Nice tackle in the backfield.
Kasperi.
There you
did
go.
a nice job, from his middle linebacker position, getting in there, keying on the running back, causing a loss, causing a 4th and 6. See if they want to bring the punt team out. Looks like they will.
Clock will keep moving, which is what Centennial wants to see. And they will send back Sawyer Goebel and Urban Ingram back to receive. Dugan boots this one back the other way. Centennial's going to let this thing bounce, and boy, Southeast Polk's going to love it. It's going to go all the way down to the 2-yard line. And Bryce Dugan's loving it.
One of the rules, if you're back there, don't let it go over your head. But if you want to fair catch it, if you're inside the 20,
you better be confident that that thing's not going to bounce.
And Goebel's done a good job tonight, back there catching punts. So.
And really, besides that one mistake, Southeast Polk special teams have been decent. They blocked that field goal earlier. Noah Manning with that big 41-yard field goal for Centennial just before we went into the halftime break. And now buried deep at the 2-yard line to start this offensive drive.
You see a quarterback try to run, get the ball out of the shadows.
He's going to fire short. This one's going to be caught by Luke Mitchell over there.
Picked up 6 yards. It's a good positive play there. That out route has been working. Short side of the field, they might go back to that again.
Owen White still in the backfield. They give it to him here. We'll just have to wait and see what the full injury report is for James Narrett. Obviously disappointing for Ankeny Centennial that started that opening drive, but some sort of rib injury kept James from tonight. Not saying it would have been the difference maker by any means, but Owen White kind of thrust into this position, and Centennial just has not been able to run the ball. Give a lot of credit to Southeast Polk's D-line. Luke Mitchell again caught.
Should be enough for the
Yep, it is.
first down.
First down. It's a nice little pitch and catch. Centennial's got weapons, no doubt about that. This is an offense that is going to be tough. Curious to see how everything shakes out here as the evening, or as the season progresses on. Here's White again, going to get the carry going forward. A couple more as the clock continues to wind down. Well, we started the night, a lot of up and down, back and forth, and you look at the full moon and you're like, man, maybe something's going to happen here. But boy, Southeast Polk has buckled down, and Coach Zelenovich is going to pick up his 87th career win as a head coach here with the Rams, and sets themselves up for a fun matchup next week with Liberty. There's Miller again on 2nd and medium. Brecken's going to fire down the middle of the field. Luke Mitchell's got it, and Luke Mitchell is gone.
Luke
Touchdown.
Mitchell got there over the safety, you know. Great throw by Miller because he was going off his back foot. He had a rush in there, so he just had to air it out there. Good concentration there by Mitchell to look the ball into his hands and then take it into the end zone. But he had pressure in his face, and Mitchell takes the distance.
84-yard strike for Luke Mitchell, his 2nd touchdown of the night. That's a 98-yard drive for Ankeny Centennial. Not bad for starting at the 2-yard line. And Noah Manning will come on to attempt the PAT. Luke's going to be fun to watch this season. That one's going to go up and through the uprights. 49-25 will stay here as Southeast Polk will get the kickoff here. Unless Centennial maybe tries an onside, but I don't think they're going to try that. But
they may squib it down the middle and let Southeast Polk take a few knees.
See if I can get any more scores for you. Waukee loses to Johnston 42-0. How about that statement by the Dragons? Watch out for them. They are going to be a tricky team. 42-0 is the final there. The last thing we had was DCG over Urbandale 21-0. And it's early in the season. Teams are not putting their scores into bound that quick. But 17-17, Norwalk Indianola headed off to overtime. Iowa City Liberty defeats Cedar Falls 21-7.
Jaguar touchdown powered by Sage Holmes and Christy Leak. We appreciate this
Football
support.
starts early next week on the Central Iowa Sports Network next Thursday. I'll be down at Mediacom Stadium for Des Moines East versus Des Moines Roosevelt. Roosevelt getting the win 19-6 tonight over Des Moines Lincoln, while East took care of business yesterday and looked really good against Des Moines North. Should be a fun one next week at Mediacom Stadium.
Yeah, I got to report that Ankeny, probably the surprise win tonight. You know, Ankeny High goes into Waukee Northwest, pulls out the 28-20 victory over what people thought was a team that was going to be challenging Dowling for the #1 spot.
You can have a lights-out offense, but the defense on the other end is a whole nother story. This one's loose on the ground. Did Centennial get it back? Update over in eastern Iowa. Iowa City High leads Iowa City West 29-15 in the battle for the boot. Watch out for Iowa City High. A couple transfers kind of help that offense out. They're going to be fun to watch this season.
Yeah, it's always fun to see the teams from the other side of the state, participate. We don't see them as much. You don't read about them as much, but they're great to have them, come in here and play.
Timmy will be back here next week. Paul Yeager jumps back into the booth. I've just kept the seat warm for him for the most part. Paul will be gone on all Ankeny road games, keeping up with the family. Waukee comes to town. The Warriors hoping for a little bit better of an outing. They will be without Coach Baker for one more week when they come here to Ankeny Stadium. Final couple rushes here for Southeast Polk. Oliver Munson Martin making it worth his time. Another big first down as they only need to run a couple more plays.
Snap
Southeast Polk putting the finishing touches on it tonight. Since 2014, when these two teams started playing each other, Southeast Polk now going to be 12-3 all time against the Jaguars. It will be their 9th win in a row against the Jaguars. The last win for Centennial came back on October 4th of 2019. It was a 20-17 win. There's another handoff to the near side. Southeast Polk going to continue the scoring. Touchdown, Rams. Josh Erich.
Yeah, they got some speed at several different running back positions. He got to the outside. He got the angle. Then he just turned the jets on. They collapsed that end. They didn't get the pinch the end down, you know. And then he got to the outside. What you want to do is linebacker or defensive end want to seal that, but once he gets to the outside, they've got great team speed for the running back. I'm surprised how quick all the running backs are, but he got there and just took it to the house.
And in a perfect world, Tim, you play 12, 13 games in a high school season. You need running back depth. I mean, these guys are going to take beatings all season long as the kick's up and good. It's 56-25. But, boy, Southeast Polk's got depth. They got 3 guys with blazing speed that look like they're going to be tough to beat. But it has been a rough night for the Centennial defense as Southeast Polk cracks the 50 mark.
It seems like we've seen the Centennial defense the whole second half. They've had a hard time getting off. And then you just get tired. It's a first game of the season, and then this is the best rushing team they'll face all season, you know, by far. So it's really hard to match up. They knew that coming in. They need to regroup, and any team will tell you that the biggest improvement should come between week 1 and week 2. They're going to look at film, see what they should do. They're going to regroup. I have no doubt that they're going to regroup and play well next week. They got to get the running game figured out. If they have the lead, this defense looks a lot different. You know, they have a hard time with the run, especially with this kind of running game. Play well in the secondary. But keeping it close or give that offense, you know, let them get the lead, they're going to be a tough out.
Centennial already ready to receive the kick as Southeast Polk getting ready to come out and kick this one back the other way. I can hear you over the static in my ear.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Trust me, I can hear you.
I don't know if I'm causing the static.
No, it's not you. Not you. Got a lot of static in our ears.
I think he just put all the backups there on the kickoff team to put him in there. Just get them all lined up.
Yeah.
Make sure he's got 11 guys on the field.
Southeast Polk faithful have stuck around tonight. Still a good amount of Ankeny Centennial fans out and about. They honored the seniors before the game tonight. Seeing a lot of schools start to do that as the early senior day, especially Ohio State. I saw Ryan Day talked about the other week. He said, I'm moving senior day so that way I don't have to do it against Michigan late in the season.
Yeah,
he said,
right.
I think that was too much of a soft kind of thing for those players.
And the weather's good.
Yeah, weather's great. You don't have to worry about the cold and whatnot. You couldn't have asked for a better night for football this evening. We hope for it to continue. And if it's a perfect world, this is probably the warmest we'll see all year, but you never know with the Iowa weather.
It's supposed to warm up a lot, you know, tomorrow
and Sunday.
Into the weekend, so this is a good night to get football in. You know, but if it had been tomorrow night, it would have been maybe a different story. A lot more pickle juice.
90 degrees on Sunday. And only a couple cramp injuries, which is good. Austin Oliver's going to catch up with the Southeast Polk line here post-game. Here's Owen White. Going to try to work this thing to the outside. Good tackle on the far side for Southeast Polk. As it looks like that will be the final play of tonight's game. Southeast Polk led 21-18 at the end of the first half, and then in the second half it was all SEP. The Rams of Southeast Polk defeat Ankeny Centennial 56-25 is your final score. Rams look good, Tim. They look really good. Centennial, I think there's parts that look really good, but still a lot of improvement on the board. And you always like when we were seeing 70-plus points on opening night. That gives a little bit of a fun factor for us up here in the booth.
I would not have guessed that would have been this high scoring. I thought at the beginning, the first half, I thought they're going back and forth. It looks like two heavyweights, you know, with two completely different styles. You know, Miller was tearing them up. He had over 200 yards passing in the first half. And Southeast Polk came in and they can run the ball. They can run it on the inside. They can run the outside. And you can't just arm tackle them. And that was a proven point tonight. So They put both defenses need some work. I think we saw that. They need to go back to some of the drawing board. I think there's a lot of things to work on. But realize in 5A, 18 teams are going to be 1-0. 18 teams are going to be 0-1. That's the math that goes on. So that's just part of the equation tonight.
Let's go downstairs to Austin Oliver with Coach Zelenovich.
Coach, made some adjustments in the second half. Let's talk about those first. What kind of things did you do differently to kind of break this game open in the second half?
Well, the first thing is we, kind of had our assignments down on coverage and covered the tight end a little bit more and got a little bit of pressure on the quarterback to kind of get him off the spot. But, they're an explosive offense. Those tight ends are really good, and quarterback's a really nice player. And then we just do what we do on offense. Really no adjustments there. Just took care of the ball. They kind of turned it over and pressed there a little bit, and we were fortunate enough to get a tough road win. Yeah.
Now, going to bed last night, start of the season, is this kind of what you dreamt of the first game, or is this kind of what you expected, or?
You never know what to expect in the first one. You think you're ready. You never know. Paranoid football coaches never think you're ready to play. You just got to go play and see. I thought we handled it, the road environment, pretty well. Made some mistakes, obviously, with the punt over the head, turnover, and, just kind of some uncharacteristic things. But, sometimes in these first games you lose them more than you go win them, and so that's kind of, we tried to put ourselves in position not to go lose the game, and I thought we did a pretty good job in the second half.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congratulations.
Austin's going to stay right there.
Yep,
it
we're
looks
going to stay
like
right
your
here.
line.
We got our offensive line here. All right, line, let's get over here. Where we got Gunner and Noah right here. Okay. Let's just get some stats out of the way here first. So over 400 yards rushing tonight, 7 rushing touchdowns. There's another passing touchdown in there as well. Just what did you guys do to kind of set the tone tonight?
Yeah, no, every day we come to practice with a chip on our shoulder. We're the most physical team in Iowa. And, we do the dirty work up front so we can let the guys in the backfield do what they do, get us points.
Very good. Now, I talked about you guys setting the tone. What does a game like tonight kind of do to set expectations for the season?
We have such a tight bond between our group. And like he said, most physical team in Iowa, and we would show that to everyone in the state and in the CIML. And we proved that tonight.
All right, thanks, guys. Great game. Thanks a lot. Yep. There you go, Blake.
Austin, thank you so much. Good work down on the field tonight. Tim, final thoughts on this one. Those boys, they made it work. And what a great game here for Southeast Polk.
I think the field was tilting this way when they all got together. But, no, those are they're a great group of guys. I think they really dominate. That's one thing they do. They're physical, take a lot of pride in their craft, so it shows tonight. But you also have great running backs. That's one thing they're doing. They're going to be a tough out. They're going to grind, there. So a good outing there for Southeast Polk. They set the tone. They got a great road win. Centennial came out. I thought they passed really well. Didn't make the second half adjustments. Miller got a lot of pressure. They did a good game plan him for the second half. Couldn't get him off track. A couple of mistakes on this team. They're still young. They have a hard time. It's too much of a hole for them to dig out of tonight.
Couple unofficial stats here. Thanks to Jeff Martins for helping us out here this evening once again. Boston Bailey, 8 for 11, 40 yards and a touchdown. Southeast Polk unofficially 451 yards of offense, 411 yards on the ground. Stanley Cooper unofficially 281 yards, 20 rushes and 4 touchdowns. I'm just going to take a wild guess. That's the most rushing yards we've seen since Abu Sama went off in the state title game years ago. And then Adrian Cooper, 90 rushing yards on 8 carries and 2 touchdowns. On the other side for Ankeny Centennial, 399 yards of offense, flipped the script. 17 rushing yards, 382 passing yards for Miller, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Your leading receiver tonight was Mitchell. He had 2 touchdowns for 129 yards. Luke Newman had 115 yards for 1 touchdown. So very impressive night all across. Ankeny Centennial goes to Linn-Mar. Next week, Southeast Polk goes on the road to face Iowa City Liberty. For Randy Nielsen, our producer, for Austin Oliver down the infield, he's Tim Hauber. I'm Blake Walker. We say so long from Ankeny Centennial High School as Southeast Polk defeats the Jags 56-25. Thanks for watching this presentation of the Central Iowa Sports Network.